Well, hello, you exquisite beings. Hello, you beautiful individuals. Welcome on in. How are you doing? This is an odd time for me to be streaming. This is normally the time I stop streaming on a Wednesday. This is normally the time I stop streaming, but I was meant to start like an hour ago. I was meant to start like an hour ago, but I had to walk back because I have no car at the moment. I have no vehicular device. So, yeah, I kind of had to just wander on back. I was very kindly given a lift there. I had to walk from here to my friend's house, but they weren't coming back to their house. They were going to their studio where they do all like their dance work and stuff like that because they have lessons tonight. And I was like, cool, no worries if you give me a lift back to your studio. I forgot how far their studio is away from my house. I was like, oh, it's like a 20-minute walk from like their studio to my house. That'd be fucking sweet. No issues at all. No, it wasn't. It was like an hour and 15-minute walk. My legs are fucking knackered. They are absolutely fucking like my, you know when your legs go a little bit shaky? That is what my legs are doing right now because I have been on my feet. I was trying to work it out, but I don't even know. It's 20 to 6 now in the evening, and I have been on my feet since 7 a.m. So, nearly 12 hours. 11 hours and 40 minutes is how long I've been... 10 hours and 40 minutes. Disney right here. Disney. How's it going, Senpai? Hello, Depfan Lurker, where you beautiful being. How's it going, Decimate, you beautiful individual? Nibirin, hello. Fish Pancakes, hello, you glorious being. Rilu, how you doing? Decimate, I've just said hello to you, but I'll say it again. How you doing? It's afternoon. It's definitely afternoon. It's not quite evening yet, but we're doing all right. But we're doing okay. Bandicoot, how you doing? 1 hour walk. The problem wasn't necessarily the 1 hour walk. I don't mind walking for an hour. The problem was the fact that I've been on my feet performing since like 10 a.m. this morning. So, and before that, I was like setting everything up. And before that, I was walking from my house. It's just the prolonged state of time that I've had on my thing. And today was an exhausting day. Today was a really good day. The audiences were great. The audiences were fantastic. We were really busy. It was sunny, so I got lots of vitamin D. As you can tell, I'm not wearing any makeup because I've got shitloads of fucking sun lotion on my face, and I need to wash that off before anything else happens. And yeah, it's been a pretty intense day. Bandicoot,
most kind.
coming in with the 4 months with a Prime Gaming, you beautiful being. You beautiful individual. I will now inscribe a name upon the mirror. Vane. Where am I? There we are. By having your name upon the mirror, Vane means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror. Oh God, I look rough. But god damn, do I make rough look good. Ooh, herra, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow, you know? Yeah, no, you beautiful being. You take it easy. Thank you very much for coming in with your Prime. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. You could literally use that anywhere, and you chose to use it here. I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. Little Cinnamon Roll, long time no see. How you doing, you beautiful being? Disney, Nibirin. Not Datney. Definitely Disney. You know? Couldn't do that if I tried. To be fair, you've got to understand that this, before the pandemic, before lockdown, this was my life. My entire life was getting up, performing many shows every day, all day, every day. Then usually coming home, grabbing some food, and then going out in the evening to do more shows. This is like a regular occurrence for me. It's just that since the pandemic and since like spending a lot more time doing this stuff, which I fucking love doing, it gives me a bit of a break from the walking around and performing and doing shows and stuff. Like I've just fallen out of practice of all of that stuff. I fucking love doing it though. I do love doing the shows. The only problem that we had this time was that, like the kids, because there was a lot of children there today, lots of entertainment that we did for kids, but the kids range from 0 years old, literally newborn children, to about 14. Most of the older kids went off and did other things that were happening in the event. And the event was outside. It was in a giant park. There was a big fucking marquee over us, and we were doing shows. We were doing like story time and puppet shows and magic shows and circus acts and then had like a singer on who would do karaoke with the kids and stuff. We do loads of different bits and pieces, you know. And that was great. That was really, really good. But unfortunately, you get to a certain... I want to say you get to a certain time of day, but you don't. You get to... There are certain people out there who view any kind of children's entertainment as daycare. And we are not there to look after your children. We are there to entertain your children. We are not there to look after your children. So there was like a semicircle of... like, you know the windmills? You know the ones where you blow them and they spin around? There was like a semicircle of giant ones of those, and I was like constantly in my little voice, hello there, how you doing? You're right. Can we just make sure that everyone just keeps behind these windmills? Every single, like all the boys and girls, all the kiddie winkles, all the children, they're in, all the mums and dads and the parental units. If you can all just make sure you stay behind these windmills unless a performer asks you to come on stage. Very important, because there's people here that are juggling with knives, that are doing acrobats, that have got props that can skewer you or injure your child. And there was loads of children just walking on the stage because they were too young. They were like 1-year-olds, like not like 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and they just walked straight on the stage because they had no fucking concept of what I was saying. They didn't have the focus to listen to what I was talking about. All they saw was, oh, look at the shiny piece of set that I want to go and sit on, you know? And I'm like, this is bad. And the last set of shows was particularly bad. I would like to say, I want to preface this by saying that 99.9% of all the parents were fucking amazing. They were absolutely fantastic. Like grabbing their kids, making sure they didn't go out and like sitting down with their kids, making sure it was all okay, all fine and dandy. Not a problem at all. It was really, really good. But that 0.1% of kids. Oh, that 0.1%. That not even 1.1% of kids, because I don't blame the kids. They're children. Do you know what I mean? I blame the adults though. I'm like, why are you not concerned at the fact that I'm telling you that the acts are dangerous? Why are you not concerned at the fact that I am telling you that the children shouldn't be on the stage because they will get injured? And it got to the last set of the last show, because we did 3 sets of the same show throughout the day. And the last set of the last show, where the children were swarming the stage. Like the parents were just like, all right, yeah, okay, whatever, it's all fine. It's got to that time of the day now where we just don't give a shit. And the children were swarming the stage, and I had to come on, and I was like, your children need to back off. They need to get off. Most of the kids listened to me most of the time. They were all right. But the last set of the last stage, where I just turned around to all the parents, and I was like, parents, your children are not allowed past these things, or they're going to get injured. And it is on you to make sure that doesn't happen. We are not taking responsibility for you and your children. We're not doing that. That isn't going to happen. And then suddenly, loads of the kids disappeared. And I was like, oh, I see how it is. I see how it is. This is I am making you accountable for your own parental, like your own parental duties as a parent. And suddenly you're uncomfortable. You're perfectly fine with your child going on stage while a man is juggling knives. You're perfectly fine with a little 2-year-old girl going up and asking the man juggling knives if he can put this little flower garland on her. Perfectly fine with that. Not happy with the with me making them accountable for their own shit. Do you know what I mean? But overall, it was a great day. Other than that, it was a great day. Putting on my dad voice. The worst thing was, because I was doing this very camp, like Yorkshire voice.
Yeah, you subscribed. Most kind.
It's really been this long?
It really has been this long, little cinnamon roll, you beautiful being. Oh, my lordy. 33 months, you beautiful individual. I should now describe your name upon the mirror. Vane. Your name is now described upon the mirror. Vane means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you go roll over every morning, look in the mirror. Oh God, I look rough. Oh God damn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh yes, meow. You know? So it wasn't even like I was putting on my dad voice. I was like straight up just being, hello everyone, just so you're all aware. Hello, my name's, oh, in fact, don't matter what my character's called. I was like, hello, just so you're all aware, these windmills here are here for your protection and for the protection of your children. Just making sure you're all aware that the reason why we put them there is because it's a nice little barrier between where your children are allowed and where they're not allowed. Please be aware, parents, please be aware that you are responsible for your own children, and the next act gets particularly dangerous. Just giving you all a heads up, alright? It's going to be a lot of fun, but if we can make sure the children don't go on the stage, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Suddenly all the kids disappear. I'm like, all right, okay. Like, I say all the kids, like 90% of the kids. Because it was like, you're not taking accountability for being parents, you know what I mean? You're not taking accountability. You know? That's a long day or Bandicoot. It's been a great day. It's been a really, really good day. But this is how my days usually are. Oh, it certainly used to be. It certainly used to be very, very busy like this. I've got such an itchy nose today. I didn't take any antihistamines before I went and did performances in the park, so now I've got a wee bit of hay fever that's just tickling my nose holes, you know. Been in bed since 7:45, been the worst migraine ever. Depfan, if you need to disappear, if you need to just go and sleep or lie in a dark room or what have you, I fully understand. Please, as much as I appreciate you being here, go look after yourself. Go look after yourself, you know. Go look after yourself. How are you? Life been busy and hectic? I know that feeling. Life is always busy and hectic. Although saying that, this weekend I'm away. Me and my partner McSteffels, we're going to be going away. We're going abroad. I'm taking her on holiday because she hasn't been on holiday in like 10 years. In fact, longer than that, over 10 years. And I haven't been in holiday in about 8 years. And like proper abroad holiday. So for her birthday, I'm going to take her away. And we're going to go and just have a couple of days away. Couple of days just to disconnect from everything for a bit, you know. You know, little touchy hands. The little touchy hands were fine. There was an absolutely adorable little girl who kept coming over and like blowing kisses at me while I was trying to read a book. Do you know what I mean? I was sat there reading a story, and she just kept coming over and blowing kisses. I was like, "Thank you very much for the kiss, but can you go back behind the line, please? Thank you very much. But just head back over past that line for me. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you very much. That's great." Comes wandering back over. And I was just like, that's very nice, but I need you to stay behind that line. You know. How's it going, Dime? How you doing, you beautiful bean? Scares me so much with the parents who don't pay attention. It's not even that they don't pay attention, Decimate. It's that they don't care. They assume, they have this weird assumption. They have this really weird assumption that they're just like straight up, we have brought our kids here and therefore the kids are your responsibility. And I'm like, no, they're not. Not in any circumstance. Myself and all of the people in this event have been paid to entertain your children, not look after your children. If something goes wrong, we will not be at fault. If a child, like, if for example, if a classic one, for example, sorry, but because of Valentine's, I'm not allowed to be left with kids, which is fair. Which is fair. I don't like to be fucking left with kids. I don't like it at all. I hate it. I hate being left alone with children. I'm just like, nope, don't. Like, the first thing I do when any child comes up to me is immediately look for their parent. I'm like, where are your parents? So that I am very much within their line of sight at all times. Because I don't want to be a fucking accused of jack shit. Do you know what I mean? Just like, hi kids, how you doing? My hands are here. Because some parents are bastards. You know? What's that little one? Oh yeah, don't worry, they're just over there. Pointing with both hands so everyone can see my fucking hands. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, the, like straight up, also, how you going, Warlock? How you doing? Like, straight up, just like, they'd come over, and it's that thing where you have to remind them, it's like, or you have to let them know because they don't think that that's the case. They're just like, how's it going, Cook? No, how you doing? They're just like, oh, yeah, you're going to look after my kids now. And it's like, no. If something goes wrong, if this juggler who is juggling knives is in the middle of their act, concentrating on juggling knives, and your child comes over and gets stabbed, gets slashed, gets skewered by one of these knives, we are not culpable for that. We are not responsible for this. We are not responsible for this because we have put measures in place and we have constantly reminded everybody the reason why these things exist. With like, these are our health and safety standards. These are the things that we're thinking. We've had one person, me, constantly reminding every 5 minutes that you've got to stand behind the line. We've had the performers themselves reminding people constantly, parents, look after your children. Children, do not go in front of this line. Kids, keep an eye on each other. Make sure other kids don't go in front of the line. And then children do anyway. We're not responsible for that. Your child ends up with a big scar across their face for the rest of their lives. That's on you, Sunshine. That's on you for being a shit parent. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And I have no shame saying that by any stretch of the imagination. If you're gonna take your children to children's entertainers, understand that they're there to entertain your children, not to look after your kids. If you're gonna take them to childminders, you're gonna take them to play groups, that's a different thing. They are there to look after your children. You pay these people to look after your children. We provided free entertainment. Free entertainment for the public. We are not responsible for any of your fucking kids. At all. And I found it really interesting because I didn't actually think anything of it at the time. I was just like, parents, my thing was, I'm covering our backsides, I'm covering our asses, that the next act is particularly dangerous, and I need to remind the parents that they are responsible for their kids. So do not come in front of this big fuck off line that we put in there. It's not even like a little line. It's like big, like they were this big off the ground with giant fucking windmills on them. Do you know what I mean? Do not go in front of the windmills. And it was just like, they wander on, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be a bit more pushy about this. And then suddenly, as soon as I'm like, by the way, you've got to be accountable for your own children, they're like, oh, it's time for us to go now, we don't care anymore. And I'm like, good. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is that your limit? Why is that your limit? Why is your limit not your child is doing something they shouldn't do? Why is that? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? You know? Parents usually are more problematic than children. Oh, definitely. Kids are just kids. Kids are just kids. I do not blame a single one of those children for the way that they were behaving. I completely blame. And do you know what? And I'm not going to sit around and say I completely blame the parents, because sometimes, like, kids are just little shits. Do you know what I mean? But I do blame the parents that didn't even try. Because there were some kids there that were particularly disruptive, and their parents tried to keep them, like, calm. Do you know what I mean? They were tried to keep them, like, zen, was like, okay, that's fine, tried to keep them back, and then eventually, like, either having to leave, or they managed to calm them down, or whatever. Those parents, I have no criticism over. I have no criticism at all, because they tried. They tried their absolute best to keep their kid entertained while they were being disruptive, you know? But the parents that are like, the ones that just stand at the back, and they're just like, oh, yeah, they're just gonna do their thing. Not caring how many times I'm like, don't cross this line, and everyone's like, oh, I'm just gonna cross the line. Or laughing. That's even worse. Even worse. Literally watch the parent being like, me being like, hey everyone, don't cross this line. And then a little girl in front of her mother crosses the fucking line, and her mum goes, ha 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 ha, aren't you so naughty? When your child hits teenage years, you're gonna have fun. Because your child's going to do naughty things because you have reinforced that naughty behavior. You're going to have a real fucking shit time of teenage years because they are not going to listen to you because you have reinforced naughty behavior. That is genuinely one of the great things about, like, doing kids entertainment and seeing the children that are like that and what have you, is that whole thing of just being like, I know full well that karma is going to come and kick you on the, like, bite you on the ass. I know full well that karma's going to come bite you on the ass because these children are being given negative reinforcement, or they're giving reinforcement for negative behavior, which means that when they are actually like old enough and big enough and like savvy enough to start really pushing their boundaries, they are going to think it's a good idea, and you're going to go through fucking hell for it. You're going to have a really fucking tough time with that, because like it's one of those things, like the reason why I just don't hold it back. I'm just like, all right, that's cool, that's all right. You're going to have a real shit time of teenage years, because Jesus Christ, you're not reinforcing good behavior now. They are going to think that bad behavior is fine later, you know? So on bum Snapchat because you didn't pick that one challenge on your birthday stream. Exactly, Mr. Trilby. Exactly. How you doing, buddy? Parents, we would prefer if your children didn't become shish kebabs on our stage. Please and thank you. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, you subscribed.
Aries Ptolemy.
Kind.
11 months, baby.
11 months, you cheeky devil. Thank you very much for coming back for the 11 months. I'll now inscribe your name for the mirror vein. Aries Ptolemy, your name is now inscribed on the mirror vein, which means you get access to my personal Snapchat, not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror. Oh god, I look rough. But god damn, do I make rough look good. Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? Somebody asked earlier how Pride went. Pride went fantastically, thank you very much. Pride went absolutely fantastically. It went really, really well. I'm already in talks with them about next year, about stuff that we'd like to change and stuff. And yeah, just trying to get it all up and running and seeing what bits and pieces we can do and sort out for them. And then if we can sort out other bits and pieces. But I'm not going to talk about that just yet, because I've got far too much on my plate to worry about the next year. But yes, overall, it was great. It was really, really good. Very, very happy with it. Very, very busy. Very, very warm. But yeah, excited to see what we can do next year. You can envision the mindset of, oh, the kids are occupied watching this, I'll just nip around. I can completely envision that. But then if something goes wrong, they need to take accountability for that. You know what I mean? It's like, we can only do so much, and we do our very, very best. And do you know what? The people I with, the company I work for, were fucking fantastic. They were like going up to parents directly and being like, hey, could you just go and get your child, please? And they're like, oh, no, they're just playing over there. And like, no, they are being disruptive. You need to go and get your child. And it's like, they don't mean to be disruptive. A lot of them were too young to realize that they were being disruptive. But it was like, right, there is a problem here, you know? With the opinion that people shouldn't spawn if they're not prepared to be responsible for that, spawn until they die. It's a hard one, because when I was younger, when I was much, much younger, I was very much of the opinion of people should have licenses to be able to have kids. You should be able to prove that you're a good parent before you are allowed to have children. But nowadays, I'm like, what gives any one person the right to turn around and say that another person can't be a parent? You know? But then I also see a lot of bad parenting. And I realize that it's very rich coming from me, who is not a parent. I am not a parent myself. We do it with driving. It's true, we do it with driving, but I feel like there's far too many ways that could, like, the idea of breeding license, a breeding license could be like corrupted and fucked up, and like there'd be people being like, yeah, you're not allowed a breeding license because I don't like you, or something like that. It's just there's a lot of like ethical and moral debates around that, but there's an awful lot of like, as a non-parent, but as somebody who has grown up around children my entire life, I'm a child of 4 children. I have, I think, 23 cousins and stuff like that. I've always had kids around me, and I did a hell of a lot of kids entertainment in like the early years of my performance stuff, and still do a fair amount now, because it's very well paid. I feel like I know a fair amount about kids and parenting and bits and pieces, and it's just like I'm never going to condemn a parent for a child behaving particularly fucking shitty. I'm never going to do that unless they don't make an effort. I have seen plenty of kids like be little shits, and their parents are trying their hardest to find a way to get through to their kid. And for whatever reason, it's not working. And at least they try. They're doing their best within the parameters of what is being dealt to them. And bearing in mind that I think it's something like that a child is born with 40 genomes that are entire, like 40 genetic code, 40 genetic code markers that dictate like a lot of their personality before they're even born. So there's an awful lot of things that are not the parents' fault. It's not all, it's like the whole nature versus nurture thing. But on the other side of things, there's an awful lot of parents that just don't make it easy. They just go, yeah, cool, whatever, we'll just leave them to it. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's your responsibility. Regardless of who you are, it's your responsibility to look after your kid and teach them right from wrong and teach them what they can do and give them healthy boundaries, give them healthy structure so that they can become a fully fledged functioning member of society. Even if they don't want to be in a society, you know what I mean? It's like, it's wild to me. It's wild. And there'll be a lot of people that are like, oh, that's rich coming from you, Val, because you're not a parent. And I'm like, yeah, but I have had far more experience of children than the vast majority of people because of my upbringing, because of the work that I have done. I've worked with special needs kids. I've worked with children of all ages. I've just had I've had a very wide variety of like children in my working and family life. I'm now dating somebody who has a child. And do you know what I mean? Like that's all part and parcel of it. I see an awful lot. And you can usually dictate exactly where people stand with it, you know? But, like I said, 99.9% of the parents were fucking amazing. They were really, really good. They were absolutely fantastic. Just that 0.1% that just make everything shit. Make everything shit. Like to be rehired. So much easier if your kids didn't unalive themselves because you can't parent. Exactly. So happy it's bank holiday this weekend. Yay, Monday off. I didn't even think about that, Bandicoot. Oh, my lordy. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's all time for What is Valen wearing today. As you can tell, Valen has just got home from shows because he's got his hair up and he's just not wearing any makeup and he's put on relatively comfortable clothing because he's feeling particularly lazy and he literally was home 10 minutes before he decided to start streaming, you know? What else has he got on? Fuck, this is going to be painful. Fuck me. My legs. Jesus Christ. Never look more like Devin Townsend than right now. I will happily take that. I will happily take that. Devin Townsend is a fucking solid individual. How's it going, Chunk? How you doing, you beautiful bean? Enough of my ranting. How's it going, Alpaca Lunju? How you doing? Oh fuck me, that has ruined my legs. My legs, I walked for for those people that weren't here, I was walked for an hour and 15 minutes before I got home and started streaming. And I've been on my feet since 7 a.m. this morning, since I got out of bed, since I crawled out of fucking bed this morning. So, my muscles are not doing great. My muscles are not doing great. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was bank holiday this weekend, but even more reason for me to go away this weekend, you know? Working on some world building for D&D. First time, but doing good other than that. As the daughter of a teacher, I totally understand, yeah. Yeah. Oh god, yeah. I'm not saying that all teachers are great, but I am saying that you get a large variety of experiences, you know? Unattended children will be filled with sugar and put on the fastest spinning fairground ride. There was one kid that just randomly walked into our, I mean, he was about 6, maybe 7. And he just walked into our backstage tent. And we were like, hey kid, yeah, this isn't, there's children, there's them children. There's adults getting changed in here. There's no children allowed. You need to wander on and they're like, where are your parents? And they were like, around somewhere, over there somewhere. And I was like, what do you mean over there somewhere? It turns out they were just, his parents were just at the other side of like this van that had parked up, like changing the nappy of a baby, and the child had taken this opportunity to fuck off. Like this parent was struggling trying to change the nappy of this child, this baby, and this child just been like, I'm gonna go for a wander, and like wandered into our backstage tent, and we were just like, oh my god. They were like, where's your parent? Come on, we've got to go find. And then suddenly I see this frantic looking woman who just popped their head out and was like, Oscar, Oscar. Their name wasn't Oscar, but I'm going to go with Oscar. Oscar, Oscar. And we're like, he's here. It's all right. He's okay. He's right here. Just like, fucking hell. God damn it. I feel sorry for parents that are in that position where they're out by themselves, and it's like, we need to make sure that this child is this child is cleaned because they're a baby and they've just shat themselves. You know? It's like, oh god. And handed a free puppy. Hey kids, is daddy exactly right. A lot of parents don't have common sense. To be honest, yeah, it certainly seems that way. And I would like to say the vast majority of parents, I want to hammer in very, very quickly that the vast majority of parents were great. The vast majority of people at that event were fantastic. It was just every so often. And the people that ran the event were really, really good. There was a couple of people that were dressed as giant seagulls, because the whole thing was like holiday themed. They were dressed as giant seagulls, and they were basically going around trying to steal people's chips. Every single time someone bought some chips, they'd chase them a little bit. How's it going, Rowan Rose? How you doing? In a fun way, not in a scary way. But there was like a group of like 3 lads who were trying to like bowl them over. And like somebody, not even like one of the monitors that go out with them, the stewards that go out with them. There was like somebody from the actual event just came down and went, you're out the park. And they were like, but we don't, no, shut up, you're out the park. I see what you were trying to do, come on. And they just escorted them. Escorted these 3 lads just out of the park. Don't come back in, I'll find you. It's just like, bloody hell. All right, that's intense, love it, you know. Probably how they got on to start with, yeah, to be fair. To be fair. Not one lie told, especially with some parents I've dealt with before, yeah, exactly. Reminds me to get a private price for vasectomy. I'll do it. Free puppies and full sets of the legal system for kids and how to win arguments with logic so they can be shit to their parents for years to come. Also, why IQ tests have to be passed before you're allowed to have children. But you see, I disagree with that. Because like you might have 2 people that are really nice people and really fantastic parents, but are not stereotypically like intelligent. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing: is that moral quandary of that moral quandary of you see shit parents out there and abusive parents out there, and you're like, how is the system set up where you have to have a license to have a dog, you have to have a license to have a car, you have to have a license to be responsible for another life, but not a kid. But then on the other side of things, I'm like, who are we to dictate who can and can't have kids? Because then you get like elitism, where it's just like, no, you're too stupid to have children based on this test. You might have a different type of intelligence, but we've decided that you're too stupid to have children. Oh no, you're the wrong ethnicity to have kids. Oh no, you're the wrong class to be able to have children. You know what I mean? Like it just it throws up so many moral questions that it's just like, this is much better. I'd much rather everyone be able to have children and be told off for being shit parents, rather than have any kind of like barrier system where people have to jump through certain individuals' hoops, certain systems' hoops, in order to be able to procreate should they want to, you know? Shame is embarrassment, a powerful motivator? Exactly. Not in a good way when we used it to motivate kids, but on adults, yeah. There's a reason why I do it. There's a reason why I do it. I don't like doing it, but if parents are not going to look after their kids. Or it's not even like that. If parents are not going to teach their kids healthy boundaries and make them respect the fucking word of the law for us entertainers. But this is the other thing. This is the other thing that we find with entertainers across the world, is that we are looked down upon by people. Like the entertainment industry, despite the fact that the number one thing that is bringing money into the United Kingdom at the moment is the entertainment industry, like films, movies, theaters, tourism through theaters and what have you. That shit is bringing in so much money. It is the number one supplier of like commerce in the UK. Despite that, there is this societal perception of, oh, they're entertainers, they'll do anything. They'll do what they'll look after our kids. That's all right. We'll just well, you obviously have had hard fucking times if you're being made to do this. And it's like, no, I trained fucking years of my life to be able to do this. Years and years of my life, you know. Carlos bites him in the ass. They just turn my head when I see it. Yeah. Oh, it definitely does. It will, because they'll hit teenage years. They'll hit teenage years, and when they hit teenage years, the kids will just be like, what's that? You didn't teach me solid boundaries when I was a child? Well, cool. I'm going to push all of the boundaries and get away with it and get really snotty when I'm not allowed to do what I want. Not everyone has the choice to make that choice. Also, the thing about control over your own body. Yeah. Definitely. It's definitely a complicated matter. But I can see positives and negatives from both sides, you know. Children are just small drunk people. Children are just small drunk people. They are. They have no impulse control. They see something, they hyper focus on it, they crack on and just try and get into it. You know what I mean? They're absolutely small drunk people. There's a reason why it's like, oh, you know, drunk people, they act like kids, and it's like, yeah, they fucking do. The only difference is that drunk people don't have the parental figure apart from themselves. The only parental figure they have is themselves. Or if they're in that type of like relationship where their partner will be like, shut the fuck up. No, you're not doing that. Stop being a dick. You know? You know what I mean? I like children don't have feelings, so understand a lot less credit for. Exactly. Just came into all the dancing alpaca and Juru. Looking as fabulous ever. I feel sweaty. Is what I feel. You know? I think you're intelligent. I just know a lot of kids who could outthink most adults if they weren't so afraid of their parents or adults in general. I don't think it's necessarily fear. I think respect is more important than fear. I think that a lot of kids are very, very intelligent. I think though, like, because of the way that society is moving, especially within the world of technology and stuff like that, kids are becoming not necessarily more intelligent, but quicker thinkers. They think quicker because they've got to have that attention span done, and they've got to the all media that they're like ingesting at the moment is all very, very quick pace. This is stuff happening right now. Let's go. All right, we're going right. Okay, let's think. Next TikTok. Do you know what I mean? It's constant. But as a result, I think they think quicker. I think they can think quicker, and I think they think a lot more intelligently than many people will give it for. Do you know what I mean? You know. No comment about the hairline. Mr. Trilby, I've got no shame about my hairline. I got no shame at all. My forehead has always been massive since I was a very, very young kid. My forehead got bigger and bigger. And then eventually I decided that I couldn't deal with it anymore and got hair implants. I have no shame about the cosmetic surgery that I have had. I literally had hair follicles drilled out of the back of my head and surgically implanted into the top of my head. And it was agony. It was agony. It was not a pleasant experience. Not a pleasant experience at all. But yeah, never knew that about you. Yeah. I again, no shame about it. No shame. I'm much like the amount of people you meet and it's like, oh yeah, these people have had breast implants or they get lip fillers or something like that, and they don't have any shame about it. I'm like, I have no shame about my hair implants. Do you know what I mean? My 4 head became a 5 head, became a 6 head, became a 7 head. I was like, do you know what? I need something to do. I need to do something about this before it gets too far. So I got it sorted, got it done and done. You know what I mean? which is the reason why I will never criticize somebody having cosmetic surgery to help them in their own opinions of themselves. I will give you warnings about the reasons why you do it, and the fact that it will not solve all of your like issues. If you've got, I'm not going to say body dysmorphia, but issues with your own appearance, whether that be as extreme as body dysmorphia or
It's alright. Flee,
otherwise,
flee.
you know. Oh my lordy, ladies and gentlemen, and all genders outside and in between, delve deep into your pits of popcorn and throw them at the raiders, throw them at these cheeky devils. Look at these people coming in here. I mean, really, could you even imagine? Who do you think you are? Oh my lordy, it's Fox Plays. Long time no see. How you doing, Fox Plays Official, you beautiful individual? Thank you very much for the shout out for Fox Plays. People go check out Fox Plays Official. Fox Plays Official has the longest list of completed games that I have ever seen. That I have ever seen in my entire fucking existence. I'm not talking just completed games. I'm talking like 100% platinum completion games. Just absolutely wild times. Oh, it was great stream. If you like seeing games played to the absolute completion, you like getting involved in all of the little secrets and bits and pieces, yeah. Phenomenal human being. Go do the thing. Go follow that wonderful individual. Friends, if you're new here, 2 things you need to know about this channel. 1, you're not allowed to apologize. Faux pas, individuals, faux pas. Instead of saying sorry, try saying thank you. Instead of saying sorry, I'm late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of saying sorry, I'm such a burden, say thanks for being there for me. It'll make you a much more positive individual. 2, if you're under the age of 18, I have to ask you to leave. I've got to ask you to leave. You shouldn't be, because you've just been in Fox Plays Official stream. And they have the vocabulary of a dock worker, a very drunk dock worker. The expletives are many. The expletives are many. But on the off chance that you are, I have to ask you to leave, because we talk about sex and shit all the time. Very cunty dock worker. Exactly, right? Exactly. On the off chance you are, then come back when you're 18. We'll have a good laugh. I've got to cover my ass. Do you know what I mean? How's it going, Fox Plays? What were you playing today? What were you getting up to? Oh, by the way, if you need to disappear off, I realize it'll probably be very late where you are. If you need to disappear off, grab a snack, grab a snaffly treat, go do your bits and pieces. We are going to be doing the game vote in a little while. We haven't done the game vote yet, but we are going to be doing a game vote in a little while, because all the games that we play on this channel are recommended by the community and voted for by the community. And as of September, we are going to be doing things slightly differently. I usually play one game on a Tuesday and a different game on a Wednesday, but today I've been doing shows all day, so my things are my stream's a bit all over. But Blasphemous 2, you got it early in Australia. Ooh, is it good? On a rating of 1 to 69, where are you? How are you feeling about it? 69 obviously being orgasmic. 1 being yeah, as of September, as of next month, we are going to be playing a long form game, so a game that lasts many weeks, on Tuesdays, and short form games on Wednesdays. Short form games are anything that'll last up to 4 weeks. 70 is a 69 with someone filming the action. Oh my lordy, that good. That good. A 69 with somebody just being like, all right, yeah, that's good, that's all right. Can you sign these waivers so that I can sell it on, please? Thanks, that'd be great. I love that. I love that as a comparison. I love that. That's fantastic. That goes for all of Fox Plays community as well. If any of you need to disappear, I very much appreciate you all being here. It panders to my ego, and as you can see, I'm a very vain individual. But actually, I'm not a very vain individual. Right now, I'm not vain because I literally finished an entire day's worth of shows, came back, streamed. So I'm a sweaty individual right now. But I make sweaty look real good, like real good, you know? But if you do need to disappear off, I know that many of you will be from different parts of the world where it might be getting really late or what have you, or you might be going to work. Go do your thing. Go do what you need to do. Your life has to come first. As much as I love you pandering to my ego, do your bits and pieces, you know? Do your little bits and pieces. How's it going, Rowan Rose? How you doing? Right, let me catch up a wee bit with chat. We've just been... a lot of the shows that I've been doing today have been entertaining kids. So we've just been chatting about shit parents, if I'm honest with you. We've been chatting about shit parents. We've just chatting about parents who just don't make the effort to even try and like control their kids. If you try and like your child's not listening, that's like you're doing your best. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to criticize them against that. But the parents that just stand there and just like, yeah, fuck it. They'll be entertained. They're going to look after my children. No, a children's entertainer is there to entertain your children, not look after them. You know? Kids don't have to be at an event to have a complete lack of fucks or control. Once I was opening the community center for a sword training, 2 kids just wandered into the hall and started picking up the swords. Had to question if they belonged to one of the groups. They didn't. Ended up saying they were looking for the toilet, and I had to let them because it was their school. It's not. Oh, wow. Wow, Bambi. Yeah. Children will get themselves into trouble in any ways they possibly can because they're kids. They're going to. They're going to see what they can get away with. They're going to push boundaries and push limits and stuff like that. And it's up to parents or guardians, parental figures to fucking step up and stop that from happening and instill structure and instill boundaries and not leave it to people like me who have to go, parents, if your child gets stabbed in the face by the man juggling the knives, that's on you. I have done everything I can to stop that from happening. And if your child decides to walk up and be like, hey, could you put this flower garland on me while you're juggling these giant, very sharp knives? That's on you. That's on you. Got fuck all to do with me. Kids don't know any better till they take a dagger to the face. To be honest with you, even then, some of them won't. Even then, some of them won't. If we're honest about this, you know? I was hosting the show. It's like a variety show. Big TLDR for those wonderful individuals that come in, all right? I was hosting a variety show today, and I will say that 99.9% of the parents were fucking amazing. They were really, really good. They were fantastic. They looked after their kids. They tried their best to keep their kids entertained. If their kids were being disrupted, they'd move them on to go take them to a bouncy castle or something like that. They'd spend off a little bit more energy. 99.9% of them, absolutely exquisite. But you'd get the occasional parent who just pandered to everything their child said, or just didn't care. They just stand at the back having a cigarette with speaking to their mate, and their child would be wandering around on the stage in front of all these very dangerous things. It's just like, only takes one annoying kid to ruin the show. To be honest with you, yeah, to a certain degree, but most of the time, like a good entertainer will be able to find a way around shutting that kid up. It is entirely possible. And do you know what? Usually that's my job, Renardi. That's my job as the host, as the compare. It's my job to be like, okay, look, I appreciate what you're saying. That's great, child. But what I need you to do is I need you to just wind it back a little bit, because what you're doing is you're ruining the show for everybody else. And I don't mind saying that. I'm like, you need to just wind it back because I know you're very excited. I know that's great. That's fantastic. You're having a really wonderful time. But in order for everybody to enjoy it together, you need to just calm it down just a little bit. Okay? That's great. I'll be bad guy so that the performers can all be the good guys. That's grand. That suits me fine. However, I was just saying to the reason why we got into the conversation was basically because at the very end, the very, very last performance was a very dangerous performance with acrobatics and circus tricks and bits and pieces. And there was little kids, like 1-2-year-olds, who just kept wandering onto the stage and blowing kisses to the performers and trying to get in all the set and stuff like that. And I was like, parents, you need to stop your children from coming onto the stage area, because the next show is really dangerous and we are not responsible for what your children do. And I was like, this is the last warning. And weirdly, suddenly loads of the kids just disappeared. All the kids that were causing a problem just disappeared, and their parents disappeared. And I was just like, oh, it's fine for your kid to come over and be in a dangerous situation with performers, like that are juggling knives or balancing on shit and what have you. But the moment I call you out for being shit parents, that's your line? Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. All right, see how it is. I enjoy in 10 years' time when they hit the teenage years and they start pushing your boundaries. Yeah, enjoy that. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. I know that this karma is coming in about a decade's time. So, yeah, you just enjoy that. You know? Glad you had an awesome time from a small town, so just starting to do more Pride events. Really glad to hear that. Really, really glad to hear that. I had a wonderful time working Pride. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, whatever they goblins off stage, I suppose. Oh, yeah. Leave them to it. I'm not responsible. I think the point that I'm making is the fact that I'm like me, all the performers that performed with us today, none of us are responsible for their children. We are responsible for providing entertainment. We are not responsible for keeping their children safe. That is actually the responsibility of the company that employed us and parents. The company that I employed us did their risk assessment. They did everything they possibly could. They did all the bits and pieces, you know, and the rest of it is down to parents. The parents not, like, I was very, very clear. Kids are not allowed on the stage area unless they are specifically invited up by a performer who tells them exactly what they need to do. Kids didn't do that. So kids were in a dangerous position. And that's not on the company. The performer will do their performance and they will do their best to accommodate children, errant children that wander on things, but it's up to the parents to stop their children from being in a dangerous position. You know? How's it going, Abby Stabby? How you doing, you beautiful bean? Dropping in and say hello before I pop and set up. That's entirely fair. That is entirely fair, you beautiful bean. I appreciate you doing that. I'm very sleepy, as you can see. Most of the reason parents struggle to parent is how the Western world changed with industrialization. We no longer live in multi-generational houses. Big sign of success is your own house, so new parents won't be able to learn from their parents and grandparents. I don't know about that. I think it's probably going back that way just because of how fucking expensive houses are now. You know? All right, I'm going to try and whip down and catch up because I realize you've all been chatting and doing bits and pieces. Eats algae and saves the chlorophyll, but used the photosynthesize, so I don't need to eat anymore. Ooh! What are we talking about there? A leaf sheep? It's a kind of sea slug. Oh, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Hold on. Just learn about a new animal. Yeah. No, they're very, very cool. I know sea slugs relatively well. I'm more into like the fish that I can put in my tank, but I am aware of sea slugs, and you can get some really, really interesting sea slugs out there. They're very, very cool. The sheep ones are really interesting though. The way they do, yeah, they feed on algae in order to create their own energy battery cells, basically. The article, a girl who went from freshman to senior high school in 1 year. Kids have definitely evolved for sure. I don't know whether they've definitely evolved. You'll always get the geniuses. You will always get the geniuses. But like stuff, I think our understanding of genetics is very, very different, and our understanding, like our approach to children, like to educating children, is massively different nowadays. It used to be a one size fits all. It was this is the way you get educated. If you don't get educated like this, you're fucking shit. And nowadays it's like, okay, people's brains work differently. We're uncovering far more and more people have got ADHD, and far more and more people have got autism, and like they are catered for. They're like, okay, you have autism, cool. Let us change our teaching tactic to be able to provide for you in a way that is going to benefit you, rather than just go, you don't fit in, you're gonna be shit. You know, stuff like that. Like it's not there yet, but it's getting better, and that approach is definitely changing a lot of things. Because I remember being a wild child. I'm not saying that I do have ADHD, but I am saying I have a lot of traits of ADHD. And yeah, I remember being a wild child and not being able to focus, and I was just like, yeah, you're a wild child, so you're obviously going to be shit at school. And it was like, it's not that I'm shit at school, it's that I'm very good at the subjects that interest me, but not very good at the ones that don't. you know Your boobies had their 1 year last week? Excuse me, what? It was someone in the first year of college at 16 got asked by Oxford to go to them for multiple degrees, physics and math. They could turn an electric kettle out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the thing. Like you say, intelligence is like, there used to be IQ is the intelligence. The intelligence test is IQ test. That is it. That is how you measure intelligence. It's like, no, that is how you measure one type of intelligence. Fucking hell, you sit down with me and fucking coding and formula and shit like that. I have got no idea. I am absolutely fucking clueless when it comes to programming of any sort. You turn around to me and like tell me to organize an event, and it has to do this, and this, and it's going to have this weirdly impossible thing that I have to work out how it's going to work. I will sort that shit out for you in a fucking day. I will sort that shit out for you in a day. You know what I mean? Like that, like intelligence is so massively varied, and the way that we understand intelligence is finally getting to a point where we are. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You want all the popcorn? Don't worry, we can make plenty more. We can make plenty more. Left behind because of the mobile. How's it going, Mr. Amber? How you doing? Welcome on in. Learning to say thank you instead of sorry is really something I need to hear more often. Renardi, that is the way we do it. People, the reason why we have the apology ban is literally because of the fact that people apologize too much. They apologize for just existing and shit like that, and it's like, no, don't do that. I will call you up on it every fucking moment because, yeah, I don't. Like, there are definitely times in the world for an apology. There are definitely times, but my view is, if you're going to apologize for something that you would go out of your way to never do again. Apologize for something that you will actively change in and of your very essence to make sure that that thing never happens again. And then change. Don't just apologize and then do exactly the fucking same thing again. You know what I mean? Don't apologize for things you can't control. Don't apologize for shit that isn't your responsibility. Don't apologize for existing. You know? 6ix9ine being orgasmic, 1 being laid there wishing you were folding the washing because it would be more satisfying. Laying there counting the tiles on the ceiling. Don't get me started lack of parenting with kids. Worked as a Christmas elf and saw all sorts of wrong attempts at parenting. Yeah. I think, I will say that. I think a lot of it, or some of it at least, some of it will be down to the fact that parents are just so exhausted. Especially at this time of year because it's like summer holidays and shit like that. Parents are just so exhausted with like their children having been around them for such a long period of time, being wild and being not satisfied and being full of energy and being wanting to go out and doing stuff but can't go out because it's too hot and doing all the bits and pieces, you know, like they just get so fucking tired that they take them to something like that and they're just like, finally, you will be entertained for 15-20 minutes while this act happens and I will be able to breathe for a moment. But you can't. You have to watch. You have to keep an eye. You need to make sure that the kid is... You can sit there and breathe and fucking relax for a moment, but you have to be aware. You have to be alert of what the fuck is going on, or your kid's gonna get injured. Your kid's the one that's gonna get fucking injured, you know? Curiosity is always so strong with little kids. They can definitely take over common sense. Oh, definitely. And I will not fault a child for being a child, you know? I will let them know when they've done wrong. I will let them know when something's happened that they shouldn't have done, when they've crossed a line, when they've crossed a boundary, and I'll make them aware of the reasons what happened, why something happened in an age-appropriate way, why something happened, the consequences of that action, and how they should be more responsible in the future. You know? Too much bad parenting in the world? This is true. This is true. As a mom of a 5-year-old, I agree with you 100%. All this, I don't know how many times me and my mom had to explain this before. Remember that kids aren't fully formed to the best part of the brain. Oh yeah, they aren't fully formed brains. Deals with emotional self-control, isn't fully formed until 7 or something. It's not a tantrum, it's emotional overload. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely like more physiological things, because I know that like during the teenage years there is actually science to prove that basically one of the reasons why most teenagers have such a difficult time in the teenage years is because the brain is quite literally rewiring itself. Quite literally rewiring itself, you know? Bit of self-awareness, right? Well, this is the thing. Like I said, I called them out and they all left. And that's, do you know what I mean? That was my responsibility. My responsibility as the host of the show was make sure there's no children on the stage when the performers were on the stage. The kids weren't listening to me. I will say the vast majority of the kids listened to me. The large percentage of the kids listened to me. But the ones that didn't then egged on the others to not listen to me. And it's like, okay, I will do the thing that I need to do, which is call out the fucking parents. And if they take offense to it, that's on them. That is their fucking issue, not mine. You know what I mean? Kids are little humans, but they are incomplete people, both in knowledge of themselves and parts of themselves. Parents, protect your sprogs until they can protect themselves. It also means from yourself, yeah. And protect yourself from your kids as well. Like that, I think that needs to be said. Because some children can be very, very violent. Because of stuff like emotional overload. But you can get situations where the child is extremely big for their age, extremely muscly for their age, be able like if you're a parent that has some health conditions and stuff like that, you've got to be careful. You got to be careful, like, and you've got to protect yourself from your child as much as protecting your child from everything and yourself, you know. I love the r/entitled parents video on YouTube. Glorious listening. I was about to say I am not a redditor, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. Whoever gets their goblins off the stage. Oh yeah, I will call. Honestly, Proto Mischief. First of all, love your name. I will call out fucking anybody for not doing their fucking duty as a human being. I don't give a shit. I'm grand. And the little brains are like sponges to soak in everything. Oh, they really do, Dime. They really do. Like, children see a hell of a lot more than a lot of people realize. About fucking Jesus Christ, about a year and a half ago, I was in a shopping center with a friend of mine and a friend of mine's children, and they'd gone off to buy some bits and pieces, and I was like, do you know what, I'm gonna get some beers for tonight because I'm having a bit of a catch up, all fun and games. And they were like, Valen, do you like beer? And I was like, yeah, I love beer. I was there with the eldest of the kids, because he wanted to come and hang out with me, and I was like, yeah, no problem. So I went to like the supermarket section. And I was like, I'm just gonna get some beers. Do you want anything? Get you a Coca-Cola or something like that? And they were like, yeah, no problem. So then they were like, do you like beer? And I was like, yeah, I really like beer. Beer's great and what have you. And they were like, all right, okay, that's really interesting. And I was like, yeah. It's nice when you're older. It can be quite refreshing. It can be nice, but you've just got to be careful not to drink too much of it because, you know, it can become problematic. It can be a thing that a lot of people depend on and stuff like that. And they were like, all right, okay. I think my dad loves beer more than me. Okay, what makes you say that? Oh, well, you know, they send me to my room and they have some beers by themselves, and I was just like, okay. You know when you're like, I'm not gonna judge. I am not going to egg something on. I'm not going to build something up to be something absolutely massive than it is, and I'm just gonna be like, okay, how does that make you feel? Maybe you should have a conversation with your dad about that. Maybe you should ask him. Obviously, I then let the mother know about the situation. They were not together, them and their partner. But I was just like, this is the situation. And I was like, for the child that age to realize that element, I was like, that's interesting. You are aware, considering how young you were. I don't know, they were like 9 or 10-ish. And I was like, considering how young you are very aware of parents and their relationship to alcohol, and now I fully understand why you asked me whether I like beer or not, because your relationship with alcohol as a 9-10-year-old is an influential figure in your life, has a somewhat dependence on it, you know. Kids notice a lot. Kids notice a hell of a lot. They just might not always say it to people, you know. What kind of acts were on today? We had a danger act who did loads of really fun stuff around the beach. So they had a seagull that pooed on everyone with a water pistol, and they just pooed on everyone. They did some juggling. They were on a balancing board. So it was like a cylinder and then a board across it, and then they put a t-shirt on themselves while they were balancing on this balancing board. We had a circus performer who did a whole load of magic around different lengths of string, which was fascinating because even I couldn't work it out, and I've been working in the industry for fucking ages. And they did. They were the ones that did the juggling with knives over the cross of like a parental figure, all kinds of stuff. We had a singer that came on, did a few songs themselves, and then did some like karaoke with the kids. They'd get somebody up on the karaoke with it, and then I did the hosting, and I read like a storybook to them all, and had like puppets and stuff like that. That was the show. We also had a guy with like it was like an audio box that was on a crank. And the more you wound it, the louder it got. And he just went off and wandered and just did this loud dancey disco thing. I had a wonderful time. There was two giant seagulls. There was a giant robot. They were just walkabout performers. There was loads of like face painters and other bits and pieces. And there was like bouncy castles and climbing walls and all kinds of shit. There was all kinds of shit that was going on. It was really, really good. But that, like, our show was that stuff. And then the walkabout performers I mentioned. The robot wasn't us, but the other walkabout performers were all us. We're all us, you know. Everyone issue here, but a lot of issues with bad parents is because they never learn how to parent beyond playing with dolls as a kid, if they did. Yeah, there's definitely like generational dynamics to it, but there are a hell of a lot of resources out there, and a lot of people, like, some of it will be the fact that they never learned how to parent because they didn't have good parental figures themselves. Some of it will be down to the fact that they don't look it up. I'm not going to say that they're lazy parenting, but they don't. There are definitely people out there who are lazy parents who have no interest in. They're just like, I've done my thing. I've got the child. Why are they being so shit? I'll just do whatever you want to make my life easier. And it's like, no, that's not good, you know. But there's shitloads of resources out there. There's shitloads of things that you can read. There's shitloads of websites and YouTube videos and stuff like that about good and bad ways. There's so many different ways that you can parent, and doing a little bit of research will help you find the way that you feel most comfortable parenting. That isn't just, whatever, you know. As a parent, it's my job not to let my children unalive themselves. I thought it was a common knowledge when you make a new human. Do not allow them to unalive themselves. So confused by parents that don't seem to know or care what their little ones are doing. Yeah. Mind-boggling. They're okay academically, but tend to daydream and have trouble socializing. Had that every year on my school reports. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Neurodiverse individuals had very similar scenarios. Yeah, I was just described as a wild child. And like I said, I'm not even saying that I've got ADHD because I've not been diagnosed, and it doesn't make a difference whether I do or not at this stage in my life, you know. But the fact of the matter is that, yeah, just wild child. Wild child. You know? And now at the age, maybe ADHD and autism. Who would have thunk it? This is the thing, and it's getting good. It's good that the world isn't condemning ADHD and autism like it used to. It still is in certain parts of the world, but it's not condemning them anymore. They realize it's the way that a brain is structured as opposed to something you can catch. The amount of people that still think that you can catch fucking autism from like vaccines and shit, and it's just like, no, that's not the way that it fucking works. Jesus Christ. And the fact that the world is opening up to the idea of like the fact that people can think differently, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing to think differently. It's not a bad thing to have a different brain patterns and stuff like that, you know. Call me out if I do. My parents made me feel sorry for existing, and I'm trying to break that mindset. Good. So you should. Renati. It'll do you really, really good in the long run, for sure. For sure. It wasn't really discussed when I was in school. Oh, yeah. You would only ever really get a diagnosis if you had, like, severe ADHD. And it was, like, really, 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 really obvious. But, yeah, the ADHD and autism and a lot of neurodiversities, there are spectrums with... Oh, Jesus Christ. No, not the camera! Not the camera! Fixed it. Fixed it. Hawk Nerd, come here, cheeky devil. Look at that. Hawk Nerd redeeming a cheeky kiss obviously fixed the camera. You know, quickie in the dark. Cheeky, cheeky. Excuse me. What was I saying? Yeah, it was only really seen if you, it was only really diagnosed if you were a severe case of autism or ADHD, but they're all spectrums. They're all spectrums, you know? And I'm not saying that everybody is on the spectrum of ADHD, and I'm certainly not saying that everyone's on the spectrum of autism. I think that there are traits that cross various different spectrums, but, and I have an awful lot of traits of ADHD. Do I have ADHD? I don't know. I've never been diagnosed, and nor do I have any interest in getting diagnosed, purely because the diagnosis will not change my life. I'm like, cool, I got ADHD. Carry on exactly the way I am now. Cool, I don't have ADHD. Carry on exactly the way I am now. Will not change a fucking thing. But I feel like if it's something that you are concerned about or you're worried about and it's something that is affecting your life, then yeah, you should go for the diagnosis. You know? It doesn't make about your brain aren't formed until you're like 26 or 27 or something. It wouldn't surprise me. You aren't fully formed. Yeah. Try quiet daydreaming, drooling instead of working because I'd finished the work already. I didn't like it. Fidgeting or stimming. Yeah, fidgeting for sure. That's the reason why fidgets exist now these days. You know what I mean? I've disappeared. No worries, little cinnamon roll. You take it easy. Thanks very much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Those types of parents don't realize how stressful it can be for performers. Oh! I don't know whether it is they don't realize, Dime. I just think a lot of them just don't give a fuck. They're like, this is your job. Your job is to entertain my child, so entertain them. And it's like, no, my job is to provide entertainment, not to, like, look after your child. I'm going to perform a show that will entertain everyone that views it. It is not to sit here and look after your child's individual needs. You know? Not fully baked until your mid-20s. Yeah. Mid to late 20s. That was definitely me writing stories because I was finished. I got marked down in an exam. How's it going, Bunny? How you doing? I got marked down in an exam because I finished my maths exam like an hour early. And I wrote the meaning of life, the universe, and everything on spare pages. Because I was bored and I wasn't allowed to leave until the time was up. So I wrote the meaning of life, the universe, and everything about how dreams affected our perceptions of existence and stuff like that. And I got marked down for wasting paper. I got marked down because they were like, anything you write has to be read. So I was like, cool, I'm going to make them read all of this weird shit that goes in my brain. And they were like, you've wasted a precious examiner's time. And I'm like, have I, or have I enlightened them? This is the question. This is the question that I have for these examiners. You know what I mean? You know? Fun fact about brains is that in the later teenage years, you go through a thing called synaptic pruning, where neural pathways that aren't being used as much got rid of. Autistic people, this happens to a much lesser extent, which is why part of why sensory overload is a thing. Oh, that's really interesting, Rowan Rose. That's really, really interesting. I'm trying to whip down a wee bit, friends, just to try and catch up a wee bit. Need to buy one for sure. Will definitely help me big time, especially when it's not my turn in D&D. Fair. How's it going, J-Rex? How you doing, you beautiful bean? Mark, hello. Oh, hey, Mark. New thing I didn't know explains why I can hear a motorway that's about a mile away as if I'm next to the road, let alone all the random noises that happen. Oh, that's really interesting. Fascinating. Alcohol is a terrible master, but a fun friend. Yes. Yeah. Alcohol is absolutely fantastic, but like the 99.9% of things, you gotta take it in moderation. You gotta, so long as you, like alcohol, like drugs, like fucking anything really, drugs, stimming, hobbies, whatever the fucking situation is, relationships, friendships, all of these things are things that are absolutely fantastic unless you, while you are in control of them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not you're in control of the person you're in a relationship, but while you're in control of the relationship, you're not letting the relationship control your life. Do you know what I mean? You're not letting the drugs control your life. You're not letting the alcohol control your life. Like, everything can be absolutely fantastic so long as you are the one in control of insert thing here and not the other way around. You know? And that's the reason why addiction's such a big thing. And not just addiction in regards to like chemical substances and stuff like that, but addiction in regards to like being addicted to an activity because you are addicted to the dopamine that it fucking gives you. You know what I mean? I say it's for alcohol drinks, but not being drunk. I fucking love being drunk. I love being drunk, but I'm very, very careful about it because I know how easy it is to fall into it. How's it going, Kate Cat? How you doing? I'm saying is why I didn't get my autism diagnosis until after I got COVID. And you know what? This is the thing. It's like there's so many people that didn't get their diagnosis when they were in school and are now going back and being like, am I gonna get my diagnosis for this? And I was like, oh yeah, no, you are autistic. Oh yeah, you have got ADHD. Oh yeah, you are neurodiverse in some way, shape, or form. That was a joke. Completely missed it, K-Cat. Completely missed it. That went so far over my head. This is the problem with not having like body language or tone of voice. I don't know when it is or not, you know. I was meant to be tested as a kid. My mom was like, nah, she's alright. Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing. A lot of, like I said, how's it going, Brentley? How you doing, you beautiful bean? A lot of parents of like my parents' generation, a lot of parents of my parents' generation were never really taught anything about ADHD or autism. They were never like shown the signs to look for. They didn't like they never really had any of that need to do any of that stuff. If you had ADHD, you were just a wild kid. If you had autism, you were probably just a quiet kid, unless you had severe ADHD or severe autism, of which case it was like, oh, you can't pass as neurotypical. Okay, let's get you diagnosed. Other than that, it was just like, right, okay. You know. No worries. See you later, madman. Oh, you're here, being taken photos. I was D7, diagnosed at a very young age. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that's a category on the on one of the spectrums there. PSA, if you're on meds, be sure to drink plenty of water, especially if your meds increase how much you sweat. It's humid. Look at people, looking at people in humid places on SSRIs. If you're on meds, I mean, do you know what? It doesn't matter. Whoever you are, just drink lots of water. Make sure you're okay. Make sure, like, lots of medication, lots and lots of medication dehydrates you. Tea dehydrates you. The vast majority of pop drinks, like soda drinks and stuff like that, dehydrate you. So yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call. How's it, Bunny? How you doing? Give me 2 seconds. Cool. Just wanted to check. There was a okay, we're all right. We're good. There was a thing that was going on that I like this evening that I needed to make sure I was available for. And I was really worried that it was going to be like a fucking half an hour long stream, but it's okay. We're good. We're all right. We're all right. A lot of things considered autistic traits are also traits of neglect or abuse. Abuse kids develop to cope. Super hard for doctors to really tell the difference because there is so much crossover. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Do you know what? I'm really fucking happy. I would like to take a moment to say that I'm really fucking happy that therapy and mental health and counseling is no longer less frowned upon than it used to be. The amount of parents that I met, an ex of mine, I remember them being extremely depressed and having a really, really fucking hard time with stuff, and they disappeared one night when they were in a really, really bad state. And don't worry, we found them. They were okay. They were all right. And they'd gone to a graveyard to speak to their granddad, who was in the graveyard, about how miserable they were, about how upset and unhappy they were. And I remember it very clearly because it was actually my birthday at the time. It was actually my birthday at the time. And it was my birthday party, and I left my own birthday party early in order to go and find them. And they were okay, they were all right, but I remember very, very clearly going back to their family home and with my friend, or my ex, and like sat there with them and like basically just comforting them from being in the horribly traumatic situation that they were in. And I remember their dad saying, "You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this. We don't have mental health problems in this family." I remember that so clearly. And I remember being like, "Excuse me, insert name here. Can I have a word with you in the kitchen?" And I went in and I absolutely gave him a fucking bollocking. I gave him such a massive bollocking. "You can't speak to me like that in this house. I am fucking speaking to you like this, otherwise you're going to lose your child. You need to work out what's more important to you, your pride or your kids." That was it. You need to work out what's more important to you, your pride or your kids. And if it's your pride, then I think that you should never be allowed to see your children. End of story. End of story, you know. How's it going, Sage? How you doing? How we all doing today? I'm fucking exhausted, but really good. Really, really good. Great days of shows. Really, really good days of shows, but it was a tiring set of days of shows, you know what I mean? Did not hear. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah. I don't actually know that quotation. I haven't seen the movie. I know the movie it's from, but I haven't seen the movie itself. You know what I mean? Tested an adult, and they were like, "Oh, you're not all right." It's not even... You're not all right. You're just not neurotypical. Real simple. You know what I mean? Mark, 11 minutes ago, you redeemed a whimsical fact. I don't even know where my pipe is, so I'm just going to give you a quick whimsical fact. Let's have a look. Where's my pipe gone? There it is. Problem we have with whimsical facts about sex is we've said so many of them now. Ooh, okay. Whimsical fact about sex. Many of you will probably already be aware, but just in case you weren't, did you know that sex can alleviate pain? That's right. Sex can make you feel good in more ways than one. During arousal and orgasm, the hypothalamus in the brain releases the feel-good hormone oxytocin, which can act as a natural pain reliever. This surge of oxytocin may actually help people with vulvas feel less pain, especially during menstruation, as per the article in Healthline 2016. However, with people with penises, oxytocin is known to cut pain perceptions by 56.5%, according to a study from the Bulletin of Experimental Biology and Medicine in 1996. There you go. There you go. I knew it. Knew it helped with pain management, but we actually have like statistics on that shit. You know. I'm good. Almost done shooting this dang show. Last interview was on Monday. I'm glad to hear it, Brentley. Are you gonna have a bit of a break after that? You gonna have a bit of a break after that? 3 of my worst addictions ranked on how hard it was to quit: Coke, cigarettes, World of Warcraft. So yeah, games and stuff can be insanely addictive. Oh yeah, just it's the chemicals in the brain that you get addicted to. The like they did a test on gambling, because it's a really weird one, because gambling addiction, much like pornography addiction and stuff like that, is not technically an addiction. Okay? and I mean this purely by science, like scientific terms, technically, an addiction has to have an external substance for you to be addicted to it. However, you can get addicted to the you can get addicted to your own brain chemicals. And they did an experiment with gambling addiction, specifically measuring the serotonin levels, serotonin and oxytocin levels. And they found that you peak, as a person, human beings, we peak in anticipation of the result not winning. So when you gamble on something, you actually peak in anticipating the result rather than actually receiving a reward. Which is the reason why gambling addiction exists in the way it does, because what people are after is they're after the thrill they get in the anticipation of getting the thrill they get in the anticipation of what the result might be, not necessarily the thrill of winning. You know? How's it going, Nigel Neverland? How you doing? Go about half a gram away. Oh my lordy. Gotta get going. See you later, Dime. You take it easy. You can do it. You can do it. I'll just take it, turn it off. Oh no, definitely not. Definitely not. I've known many addicts in my life. Many addicts in my life. And I will always do my best to support them. You know? Can't imagine. With me, Muzzle, how you doing? Can't imagine my granddad, who was in World War II, or dad, baby boomer, going to therapy. But me, as a millennial gen, mental health is important. Mental health has always been important, and it's terrible that that was the situation where people were just like, nah, suck it up, nah, suck it up, yeah, man up. Ugh. What about masturbation? Can masturbation help with that pain? Yeah. Are you fucking shitting me? How's it going, Max Wattage? How you doing, you beautiful bean? I just realised there was a thing that needs to do. Oh, Max Wattage, thank you very much for doing that thing earlier. I really appreciate it, buddy. Oh, we're mid-advert. That's the reason why all this shit happens. Classic. Fucking classic. Let me read Sage Kitten's message, because they are a subscriber. So, it's not okay at all. As someone... Yeah, no. As someone who dealt with similar vein of parents where my dad would basically... Yep. So mind-boggling. Where's Sam Money? Yeah, there's a reason why you no longer speak to him. There's an awful lot, of like an entire generation of people, multiple entire generations of people who don't, like, they just refuse to acknowledge the fact that mental health is just as important as physical health. In fact, more important than physical health. Far more. Your mental health is far more important than your physical health. Far more important than your physical health. Because by having good mental health, you will be able to manage things like physical health. If you're in a bad mental health space, the chances of you being able to get on board physical health is slimmer, you know? Slimmer. Are you back from the ad break yet, friends? Are you back from the ad break? Back? Fantastic. Thank you very much. What about masturbation? Can that help with pain? Yes. Yeah. Masturbation isn't quite as good in regards to releasing oxytocin levels in the brain. As I understand it, I haven't looked too deeply into it, but masturbation still releases some oxytocin in the brain and stuff. You just don't get like the invigorated connection with somebody that you do when you're sharing when you're sharing yourself and the sexual experience with others. So it doesn't release as much, but but masturbation and the release and the orgasm that is produced by masturbation can massively help with pain because it's the same sort of chemicals. It doesn't always, but it can help with pain. Yeah. Risk reward factor 100%. Yeah. The anticipation. And Wimmy11 Wazzle typed, got Tim Curry Dr. Frankenfurter anticipation in my head right now, but because you put Dr. Frankenfurter, the bot was like, you said a link! You said a link! And it's like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Leave them alone. No, they didn't. Death row last meal? Ooh, good question. I don't know. It depends on what mood I'm in. Probably some description of pizza. Probably so. I feel like I would do my absolute best to eat as much as humanly possible, so that it was particularly messy to clean up. You know? I don't feel good the day before a paycheck, but gambling with fake currencies on Twitch sometimes really does it for you. That's fair. So long as you don't get involved with that, that's grand. And in which case, Bunny, I would strongly recommend you stay the fuck away from Kick. Because Kick is a Twitch-like live streaming site. However, it is run by gambling companies. The people who own the company are gambling companies. And the way that they run it implies that they must get enough money from other sources in order to fund it, because they are definitely acting at a massive loss. So yeah, many people are moving over to Kick, and I understand it, and I will not criticize anybody for doing so. But if you have a struggle with gambling, if you are somebody who does struggle with gambling, and no shade and no criticism here, there'll be no shame by any stretch of imagination for anybody who suffers with any kind of addiction. Yeah, like, do your best to stay away from Kick, because they they are owned by a gambling site, and they evidently make enough money from it in order to cover that shit, you know? How's it going, Dizzy Kitty? How you doing? Also did Axiom from Ship Parents Club. Yep. Friends, I'll say it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it a million, billion, trillion times, like I have over the past 5 years of streaming. You pick your family. Family is chosen. Family is not blood related. It's not easy to get rid of toxic people that are your family, but it is possible. It is possible to cut ties with your family. And if they are toxic individuals, your lives will probably be far the better for it. You know? Total lube oil ad? That's amazing. I love that. Had a phone call? That's alright, Brentley. I was just hoping that everything was going well. I'm hoping that you're going to have a break now that after this last interview, you know? Might try and see if that helps with my migraine. I don't really know. I don't understand the causes of migraines very well, but I know in regards to headaches, one of the reasons, like ibuprofen, for example, will help, it thins the blood out, which helps with blood flow and stuff like that, but then so does masturbation. Masturbation helps with, it opens up a lot of your, I want to say capillaries, but I don't think that's the right word. It opens up a lot of your veins and arteries, allows the blood flow around your system a hell of a lot more, which definitely helps with headaches. The oxytocin and stuff they will release in the brain certainly help most of the time. I've definitely found that coital engagements have helped with hangovers and stuff like that, but it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work, you know? I can't speak in regards to migraines, though, because I don't know how migraines work in the brain pan. I am not a doctor, you know? Let's take a step, put yourself first.
Most kind.
Max, you cheeky devil. Thank you very much, you beautiful individual, for gifting that sub to Bunny. Bunny, you beautiful bean. Is it, can I ask, is it Bunny Aoife? Is that how you pronounce the second part of your name? I've got a feeling it's Bunny Aoife, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll now inscribe your name on the mirror vein. Your name is now inscribed upon the mirror. Evading means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you'll roll over every morning, look in the mirror. Oh, God, I look rough. But goddamn, do I make rough look good? Ooh, sexy. Oh, yes, meow. You know? It is fantastic. I'm glad I got it right. I just wanted to check. Just wanted to check before I start randomly throwing out Gaelic names there, or Irish names there, you know? Glad to see you step up to put yourself first and allow yourself room to heal. Yep. Agreed. They're doing research on pharmaceutical oxytocin as a treatment for chronic depression. I would be very keen to actually look at the research on that. As somebody who used to work in pharmaceuticals, I would be actually genuinely very keen to see the research on that. Calandra, you cheeky devil, welcome on in. How's it going? Calandra has redeemed Ask Val a Schmex question, which is a sexual education question, and I am prepared to answer it as a sex educator. I've been seeing a lot of reels about intimacy coordinators for spicy TV scenes in the US. They use modesty garments and tape/pasties. Do you know if we have anything similar, any similar roles here in the UK for filming spicy scenes? Yes, we do. Not every movie has them. Just as an explanation, an intimacy coordinator is the person between the director and the actors for sex scenes. So the director will come to the intimacy coordinator and they'll be like, this is how I want this scene to play out. And the intimacy coordinator will go to the performers and be like, what are you comfortable with doing? And they are the buffer zone between a director being like, no, that is not my vision, and the performers who are like, we feel really uncomfortable doing this. The reason why intimacy coordinators exist is because of the absolute fucking horrific nature of Hollywood throughout throughout the beginning, from the existence of film in the first place through till like the early 2000s. The early 2000s. Movies like Last Tango in Paris. Movies like... Ah, shit, what's that one called? Cannot remember for the life of me. Doesn't matter. Point remains. Movies like that have required a thing where basically actors and performers have been peer pressured or bullied or coerced into doing sex scenes in a way that makes them feel really fucking uncomfortable, and they hugely regret or hugely are upset or uncomfortable about being involved with, and therefore intimacy coordinators exist, and they are literally, like I say, the buffer zone between director, producer, cast, whatever the people are at the top, and the actual performers themselves being like, hey, what are you okay with? All right. And they go back to the director. This is what they are okay doing. Is that all right for you? No. Okay, go back to the thing. It's about, this is what they're thinking. How do you feel about that? Because you're the ones in the intimate scene. You're the ones that are doing the scene together. They're the ones that get the fucking say-so, or they should be the ones that get the say-so. Not every film has it, as I understand it. I think a lot of it depends on budget and stuff like that. It was a profession that I actually wanted to get into myself at one stage. I wanted to be an intimacy coordinator, to be that buffer zone. But I know that it is a job that exists within the British film industry. I know it's a job that exists within the British film industry. So yes, it does exist. Generally speaking, across most of the I want to say Western world, but the only ones that I can absolutely guarantee are the UK and the United States, and I think Canada. I also think France, but I can't guarantee that. Last full-time job 2016 was trying to do the big bad thing to myself. Yeah, and woke up a couple of days later in hospital after I realized So you quit? Yeah, I don't blame you, Bunny. So you should have quit. So you should have quit. Your life is more important than your job any day of the week. Any day of the week. And mental health is a massive constitution of that. You know what I mean? Your issues are mostly substance related. Try to say mostly. The fun fact for you, friends. Fun fact for you. The 80% of addictions in America, 80%, over 80%. I think when I got trained as a pharmaceutical auditor, I think it was 83%, if I remember correctly. 83% of addictions in America are prescribed drugs. Drugs that literally doctors sign off on. It's a really weird one. That one, because when people think of addicts, they think of like people that are down and out on the street, homeless because they've lost everything and they're just so tied to the drugs and they look rough, they look bad, they look things, and it's like no. The vast majority of addicts are in good jobs, stable jobs. They can keep paying for their prescriptions. They've got good health care. They are completely functioning members of society, and they are addicts because of the way that the pharmaceutical world works, you know? Jobs that are stable, as opposed to working with horses, Nick Sawyer. You know? Family was a big part of my interview yesterday. Oh, lordy. Is he going all right, though, Brentley? Is he going okay? All doing all right. Welcome back, Mr. Trilby. Welcome back. But in his defense, he gave me, I know the English term, but the best job termination thingy. So I get highest unemployed benefits. Oh, that's good. That's really, really good, Bunny. I feel like a large part of that 83% will be painkillers. Probably, for sure. Here in America, oxy leads to doing heroin when you can't get it. Usually, yeah. Oxytocin, yeah. Not oxytocin, oxy. Can't remember it. Yeah, if your health insurance refused thingy, that is one. In fact, you know what, I'm not even going to go into that conversation. OxyContin, that's the one. There's some massive documentaries on Netflix about drug situations in America. There's a big one about OxyContin, a massive one about OxyContin, about a guy who basically investigated his own. He was a pharmacist, and his kid died because he was on OxyContin, then couldn't get it, and then turned to drugs. And he found that he didn't like the way that the police did the investigation, so he started doing his own investigation. Managed to finally put that all to bed, and then realized that more and more people were getting OxyContin prescriptions, and was like, this is the shit that killed my kid. So ended up basically going on like a one-man mission to find out what the fuck. It was a really, really interesting documentary. Really, really interesting documentary. I can't remember what it's fucking called now. It's called The Pharmacist. There you go. Done. It was called The Pharmacist. And yeah, really interesting. Very, very interesting documentary. Don't necessarily agree with all of the methods of which these things were doing, but it was very interesting. As a from a pharmaceutical point of view as well, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. OxyContin, that's the one, yeah. PSA, and definitely not well enough known, but in the US, depression is a protected disability. Jobs can't fire you for, and you can use FMLA leave for. Oh, that's interesting. They can't fire you for it in the UK. They can't fire you for depression in the UK, but there are limits to it. I think it's the same for America as well, where it's like if you are off for a prolonged period of time because of effects as a dynamic of depression and other such medical things, it's like when you are getting paid a full wage and yet you haven't been in for 3-4 years or what have you. There was a massive article on it a fucking while ago now, where a guy had been put on sick from his tech company, and he'd been on sick for something like 14 years, and they finally let go of him after 14 years of paying him a full wage despite being on sick and being on sick leave, like with doctor's notes and stuff like that. And they were like, look, we can't keep paying you to be on sick because you've not been here for over a decade. And there was a big thing about it, and it was just like, I get it from a business point of view. I am not saying that I do not support people and their journey of their own mental health and making sure it's okay and what have you. But at the end of the day, like, if you are working a job and you have not worked that job for over a year, questions should be asked. Not saying that you should be let go, but a question should be asked about what are you able to do? Is there stuff that would, like, a different job that would be better suited for you, that would be more things? You know what I mean? There's so many other avenues for that. Because at the end of the day, if you're getting paid to do a job and you're not doing that job, I can understand why people would want to let you go. But, like, having a month off because you've had a fucking crash because of depression, definitely not. Definitely not. You know? Wisconsin Codone is a huge thing in the States. Yeah. How's it going, Pixie Bomb? How you doing? Fentanyl, even killing off people. Yeah. That's definitely a big thing. Opiate crisis in the US is such a scary thing, and a lot of it comes from prescribed drugs. Your favorite spoon. Hello, you cheeky devil. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Also, probably documentaries about the Sackler. Oh, I don't know about them. Don't know about them. I feel like that there is one though, because I recognize the name. US is will employment, so they can make up other reasons to fire you, but it's supposed to be protected. If you can prove it, then that's the thing. But that's where it basically... I find the US court system absolutely fascinating. I don't really want to go into it too much right now, because I gotta talk about what fucking games we're going to be playing next month. You know what I mean? But I find the US court system fascinating, because it is very rarely a case, from what I've seen, from what I know of it, it seems to be very rarely a case of what is right and what is wrong, and more a case of who's got the best lawyer. From what I've seen. It's like, okay, who's got the best lawyer? Which lawyer has the most gift of the gab and the most manipulation and the most ability to do bits? And it's just like, okay. You know? My friend had a stroke 2 months ago. 2 weeks later, his job called, and his wife called his wife and told her he was fired. Couldn't even tell him. That I was about to say, pretty sure they're not allowed to do that. Although saying that, in this country, they'd have had grounds for compensation, unfair dismissal. Unfair dismissal is definitely a big thing in the UK. Most companies think of other reasons. Yeah. I've seen anything about the cyclists, but I think it was John Oliver. No idea. I don't know much about. I don't tend to stay out of shit like that. No. Friends let go 2 days after his stroke. Not even in time to see whether he'd recovered. That's awful. Surely that's unfair dismissal. No. Who can afford to drag a case out the longest? Yeah. Yep. That's a big thing. Yeah. Who's got the deepest pockets? How far can you let this keep going? And that's the reason why a lot of the no win, no fee people started appearing. And it was just like, no, if you can guarantee that, like, we can guarantee that you're going to win, and we'll take your fee out of your winnings. You know what I mean? It's just next level shit. But the downside to that is that they might stop fighting for it if they get to a certain point of it, you know? If they're like, okay, we're not even going to cover our own expenses here, or what have you. But anyway, that's a much bigger thing. That's a much bigger thing. But anyway, friends, before we go into all kinds of weird-ass dynamics and stuff like that, we have got some new games. Some new games to look at for the next game that we're going to be playing every Wednesday. So to explain to you all, the way that we're playing games on this channel is changing. It's different now. I'm going to try and play primarily indie games. I'm not going to restrict myself completely to indie games, but I am going to be playing... I am looking at playing primarily indie games. Tuesdays, we are going to be playing long-form games, which is games that last longer than 4 weeks. And on Wednesdays, we're looking at playing short-form games, so games that will last up to 4 weeks. I have looked at all of the games that I am looking at that I've put on this thing today, and the vast majority of them have a running time of between like 4 and 7 hours, which means it'll last 2 to 3 weeks in the way that we do games on here. And also, you know, my life changing and the way that I stream, getting confused and getting distracted and all that jazz. Do you know what I mean? But exclamation mark vote in chat to have a look at the games. We are going to look at all of the we're going to look at the trailers for them all. I will say that I'll give you all a heads up now. I have specifically gone for creepy games. Some hard vote. There's some interesting looking games in there. Yeah, well, we're going to go through all the trailers now anyway, just because I like to show you all the trailers and bits and pieces, you know. All the games that we play are voted for by the community and recommended by the community. And yeah, we're going to go through them all. Okay? Don't worry for those people that are worried about like the Alien Isolation thing. That will still happen. I just need a bit more time to set that shit up. Okay? They announced Little Nightmares 3. Fucking yes. That makes me very happy. I loved Little Nightmares 1 and 2. They were both sensational games. Absolutely sensational games. And if they stop at Little Nightmares 3, I'll be happy. If they end up doing a Little Nightmares 4, I will be super apprehensive. Anyway, some good selections. Well, I'm in a bit of a creepy mood. I like my horror games. I like my freaky deaky games. I like my games that are a bit unnerving and what have you. And it's been quite a while since I've had that feeling of you know. So I'm quite excited to play something, especially with it being a short form game that'll last a couple of weeks and stuff. I'm quite excited to play something like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't play them, but I can watch somebody else play them. I am the same, but it's not. I love playing them, but I also love watching other people play them. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, so we've got 5 games in the list. These are 5 games that were on the recommended list from all of you. And I have put on this thing. I've literally picked them all out, checked their times, made sure they're like indie games, so that I want to niche down into doing more indie game stuff, because I always find that games from independent studios, like indie games, certainly seem to be more interesting to me, and also quite diverse as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a look. We're gonna have a look-see. Okay, we have Happy Humble's Burger Farm. We played Happy Humble's Burger Barn, which is the prequel to it. How's it going, Nilla Chai? Welcome on in, you beautiful being. Welcome on in. Give me 2 seconds. I will put up the game suggestion form. There's a little form there if you'd like to... if you'd like to put it on there, I'll give it a look. See? It's all of the only way that I can like actually keep track of everything, because my brain is loosey-goosey at best. My brain is loosey-goosey at
you
best.
followed
you know?
me. Ooh, you little stalker.
Thank you so much, you beautiful being. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, the only way I can keep track of them is with this big fuck off form. And we have got like 350 games recommended on there. I do go through them and I do categorize them, and I see how many people have repeated things and stuff like that. There's a whole system that goes into it. But yeah, I only try and pick 5 games at a time. That way, people are not getting paralysis of choice. Because I would, like, if I put up 350 games for you all to pick from, I feel like that would be problematic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would be problematic. So yeah, so indie studios put more love into it. That's what I feel. Now, I will say that when it comes to Halloween season, a member of this community has sent me a code to their game. They have got a horror game come out, and they were like, hey, I've been watching you stream for ages. I think this is a game that you would really like. It's my game. It's been put a lot of love. So we will be playing that during the October season. I've heard that there's like an October sale going on and stuff like that. And they said specifically, they asked me, even though it's out now, they have asked me to wait specifically for the sale so that everyone gets the best deal and stuff like that, which is really fucking nice of them. So yeah, we're gonna give that a play October time. But yeah, 5 was bad enough for choice paralysis. Exactly. This is why I'd like reduced it down to 5, because I was like, 5. I know how hard it is for some people, especially people with neurodiversities, to like pick from a menu. I know, like, to pick from a menu. Never mind, like, pick from 350 games that they might or might not like to play. Do you know what I mean? Indie studios, yeah, exactly. Indies also hopefully treat their devs better. Usually, you know. We'd have to do a bracket system to vote down with that many games. Yeah, it'd be mad. It'd be absolutely mad. Do you know what I mean? Game suggestion. Yeah, there's one that I think it might be in timeout, Semba. I think it might be in timeout just because I put it up there. But game suggestion. 2Gs. There it is. There we go. Thank you very much, Sen. I really appreciate you, beautiful bean. I realize that you'll be doing other bits and pieces. And also, Senbar, I'm also... You can't spell. It's all right. It's cool. If you... I realize that these are going to be like horror game trailers and stuff like that. So if you're wanting to step away, because I know it's not for everybody. So if any of you want to step away, that's cool. That's all right. I understand. I completely understand. You look after your spoons and stuff like that, okay? Okay? So yeah, so we're going to watch some things. We've got Happy Humble's Burger Farm. We played Happy Humble's Burger Barn, and that was fucking weird as shit. Mwah, I appreciate you. No worries, no worries. I appreciate you, Sen. Very, very much so, you glorious bean. And we played Happy Humble's Burger Barn, which was like the prequel to it, and I've been given strong recommendations that Happy Humble's Burger Farm is a well worthwhile play. So all of the creepy deaky stuff for that. A game called Inmost, which is like a retro psychological horror game. Mr. Trilby, you cheeky devil. Poppy Playtime, which is a mascot horror game. Those Who Remain, which is sort of like a science fiction cyberpunky style horror game, and then The Alien Cube, which is more of a Cthulhu-based alien horror game. But that's all I know from what I have seen on the pictures. All right, I haven't looked at any of, well, other than the ones we've already seen, I haven't actually looked at any of the trailers. So we're gonna do that together now. We're gonna do that together now. Jesus Christ. Jesus, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. I really, 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 really hate that Steam won't just accept the fact that I do not want everything to play at 1 million fucking decibels an hour. Okay, friends. Okay. And the wee little donkey. Jesus Christ and the wee little donkey. Always, always. Right, friends. We're going to watch some trailers. Okay? And exclamation mark vote if you would like to see the vote itself. You can. It's multiple choice. So you will be able to pick all of the games that you would like to see me play. All right? All the games you would like to see me play. You know, Van Vane, it's all right getting to a sit-stand desk, but are you going to teach it to roll over and play dead? Definitely. Or at least I'll teach it to stare at me in a very adoring way. Do you know what I mean? Steam auto-playing trailers scares me every time. I can turn off the autoplay, but as soon as I press play, it's like, bah! And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need my eardrums perforated that much. I don't need that, okay? That isn't something that I require. So this is the trailer to Happy Humble's Burger Farm, which we've played Burger Barn, and it was like it certainly seemed to be like the prequel Kickstarter thing. But this is Burger Farm, and I don't actually know what the difference is. I don't know how this is going to be different to the other one, okay? So we'll find out. Okay. 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 Do we actually have to make burgers this time? Fuck me. Okay. Oh, shush. Okay. So the graphic, they've updated the graphics. It looks like a much more expansive world than Burger Barn. And yeah, it looks pretty fucky. Looks like we've got new people as well. Actually have like real bodies as opposed to looking like shop models. Do you know what I mean? Burger Barn was nightmare fueling. Yeah, and I would imagine this one will be the same as well. This one will be the same as well. Do you know what I mean? That was only the plus side to having the slow internet, is it used to take ages to load. Good time, not really. Oh my lordy. Looks like FNAF. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy. I've never been, like, it's never appealed to me. However, I will say, what's it called? Is it Five Nights at Freddy Security Breach? That one looks like something I'd enjoy. I enjoy that, I think. I don't think I'd enjoy the whole one where you sit in the security desk and never move. But, you know. Get the whole town to explore now and a partner cow. Possibly? I don't know what that was. Now, we know from the Burger Barn that the cow turns into some kind of weird nanite robot thing. But how far did you go in the original game? We completed the original game, Kindred. We completed the original game. We completed Burger Barn. So I know a bit more about the overall world if they haven't changed it. And I was really worried. I was genuinely worried that that would change the way that this game, like, rolls out. However, I have been reliably informed by many people that playing the first game actually enriches the experience of playing Burger Barn enriches the experience of playing Burger Farm. So, okay, yeah. So there's the second Alan Wake. Are they not in the process of making the second Alan Wake at the moment? If I remember correctly. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's the first one. That's Happy Humble's Burger Farm, where you play as a fast food waiter, fast food tenant, and weird shit happens, and you're like, there's ongoing things. I kind of don't want to spoil it for people in case they haven't seen Burger Barn, but there's ongoing things in there that like are like to do with like pseudo realities and shit like that. I really enjoyed Burger Barn. It was fucking weird and it was very fast paced, but I did enjoy it. You know. Delayed by a few days if I recall correctly. So it was on the announcements today. Don't know when it comes out. Think about 27th of October. Oh shit, that's really, really cool. Release date for Alan Wake 2 is 27th of October. Cool. I like that. I tend not to play games the day they come out or like when they first come out because I feel like there's so many people that play games when they first come out and I'm like, the vast majority of people that want to watch this game will either watch much bigger streamers than I am or they won't want to watch it because they will want to play it themselves and they don't want spoilers. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always apprehensive about brand new games, but I am quite excited for Alan Wake 2 because I fucking loved Alan Wake. However, there is like an offshoot game for Alan Wake, isn't there? The Alan Wake American Stories or something like that. Something along those lines. Control? Yeah, I know Control's set in the same universe. I don't know anything about Control. I own it, but I don't know anything about it. But I know it's set in the same universe. Waiting means that they have time to fix the bugs. This is also true. American Nightmare? Yeah, American Nightmare. Alan Wake, American Nightmare. That's the one, Mr. Trilby. I own that one, I think. Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Yeah, so I own American Nightmare, but I don't know anything about it. But yeah, Control is set in the same universe. Or that's what I've been told. I've been told Control set in the same universe as Alan Wake. I don't know whether I should play Control before I play Alan Wake 2. Maybe that's something we could do. But anyway, the point remains. The point remains. Anyway, our second game, the second game on the list is Inmost. So we'll go have a look at that. We'll go have a look at that. Oh, hello, cheeky. So this is Inmost. Right, cool. Also, there are people who don't want to see them at all and happy that some streams play something different. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know full well, Bunny, at the moment that there's an awful lot of people that are trying to not see like all the Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. Baldur's Gate 3 looks like a phenomenal fucking game. And I'm also really happy that like a friend of mine is one of the voice actors, Amelia Tyler. And like I went to a barbecue at the weekend and I was speaking to these people and they were all like, oh my God, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, it's going fucking amazing, it's so good, it's so fantastic. And I was like, what did you think of the narrator? And they were like, oh, she's fantastic, she's phenomenal, all these things. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I actually know her, but I wanted to know what you thought of her. And they were like, I bet that must have been a really awkward job because of how many weird things that the narrator has to say. And I was like, knowing Millie, she'd have fucking reveled in it. She'd have absolutely reveled in the weird shit. Absolutely reveled in that stuff. But yeah, it's one of those things. You know when you see your mates like succeed and you're just like really happy for them. That Baldur's Gate 3 is a perfect example of it. Perfect fucking example of it. You might want to check if the soundtrack to American Nightmare is stream safe. If you want to stream it, there was legal issues with rights. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting, Mr. Trilby. I don't know. It's never been recommended, so I've never put it on the list. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, all of the games that we play are all voted for, are recommended by the community and then voted for by the community. So it's never been on the list because it's never been recommended. Can't wait to be able to afford upgrading my PC to play that game, or probably earlier that it becomes on Xbox. That's fair. Yeah. Can tell from the outtakes that Millie millied and made things truly her own. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Her outtakes are all on like YouTube and TikTok and stuff, which is great. But anyway, this is Inmost. Give this a look. I don't know anything about this other than it's like pixelated and meant to be a psychological horror or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Can't resist this cheeky thing. Excuse me. Excuse me, Simba. Do the cheeky things. Okay. This looks really beautiful. This looks really pretty. Little fairy makes some kind of trees going. There's some weird slime on the tree. Okay, some kind of knight with a fairy. Killed the fairy? What the fuck is wrong with you? Excuse me? What? What? Hey, what? I have so many questions. So many questions. The content warning for this game is several pages, but it is really beautiful. I did hear there was stuff about unaliving. So I know that there is something like that, but okay, maybe it's worth checking the content warnings first. All fairy and love and walk, good lord. The cheeky thing. Oh, thank you very much, standby. Yes, people go check out the wonderful Amelia Tyler. Amelia Tyler is not streaming at the moment, but Amelia Tyler does often appear on Jay Britton's streams, who is their partner. And yeah, they're great people. They're great, wonderful individuals. And they have streamed in the past. So maybe, possibly, some stage in the future, they might come back to the wonderful world of streaming. How's it going, Red Queen Rhonda? How you doing? Inmost is the only game on the list I played, and it was phenomenal. That's good. That is very, very good. I love to see this. Thank you very much for that, Sen. I really appreciate it, buddy. Claps to bring the fairy back to life. Come on, Peter. Come on. Clap, Peter, clap. But yeah, that seemed like a really, really, really pretty game. And then it got really fucky. They killed the fairy, goddammit. They killed the fairy, goddammit. You know, doing very well today. Relaxing after housework. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Okay, so that was Inmo. So we've got Happy Humble's Burger Farm, which is some weird pseudo-reality thing where you're a fast food waiter and some weird mascots are fucking shit up. And then we've got Inmost, which seems to be a really, really beautiful game, but from what we're hearing, there's a very big list of content warnings. So we will be aware of that. We will be aware of that for sure. And I've definitely heard it's a psychological horror, but it is. Let's just be aware. Be aware of that, you know. Cool. The next one. The next one. She said maybe. Couldn't possibly say. Couldn't possibly say. Insert cheeky dig at Jay because we love him. Exactly. 100%. In fact, was it last night? I think it was last night. Jay and Millie did a joint stream where they played Baldur's Gate 3. They were playing Baldur's Gate 3, but they were playing it with Millie. So Millie, well, not as a character. Millie was just sat there being like, oh, right, okay, this is interesting. They did a Dark Urge. They did a Dark Urge storyline, and it was really interesting to see, like, the insights from, like, behind the scenes as they were playing. So that was really, really cool. That was really, really cool. I enjoyed that. Do you know what I mean? Sings Wonderwall. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why? Why, Eris? Why, Nibirin? Such a shite song. Anyway, let's move swiftly on, shall we? Let's move swiftly on. So we've got Happy Humble's Burger Farm. We've got Inmost. And this is Poppy's Playtime, which sounds like a very leisurely, fun game. Let's have a look. Yeah, fun game. With giant hands. Creepy things stroking walls. I get really unnerved by the big smiley things that are meant to be for kids. Ooh, Jesus. Oh, that's unnerving. There's something about mascot horror that is genuinely terrifying. I think it's because of the fact that, like, when you're a kid, the amount of times you watch these things on TV and you're like, oh, yay, look at Sesame Street, look at Big Bird, look at Huggy Wuggy, look at Iggle Piggle, look at whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is great, this is fantastic. And then you, like, when you're a child, you meet, like, somebody in a mascot suit and you're like, oh my fucking God, they're massive and terrifying. And I feel like that deep-seated terror is still with us as we're playing these games. And we're like, fucking hell. Could you imagine if they just had fangs and fuck shit up? Do you know what I mean? Accursed cookies in the oven. Oh, you burnt your cookies? No. 6-year-old is obsessed with Huggy Wuggy and I hate it. Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. The fucking terror of Mr. Blobby. The absolute fucking terror of Mr. Blobby. Do you know what I mean? That shit is quite literally nightmare fuel. And there is a reference there if you want it. So that's Poppy Playtime, which, again, delightfully horror. I love, like, all of these things. I wasn't expecting Inmost to be such a delightful little curveball there. I genuinely was not expecting that, but it fucking was. Like, the beauty of it. But I do really want to, like, there's something about playing mascot horrors that just... It makes me interested. It piques my interest. Piques my little interest. Do you know what I mean? Bam, 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 bam. Cool. Go. Not bad, they just went in. And they're already cursed. No! No! About 12 when that song came out and it was playing everywhere all over the time. Yeah. Never heard the song before I joined Twitch. It was kind of rickrolled of Twitch. Rickrolled Twitch for you. My God. Blobby. That one, the Blobby, Mr. Blobby one. That one. Trying so hard to be okay with it, but it's no more Huggy Wuggy or Rainbow Friends. The damn Among Us astronauts. Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Rickrolling so much, one of the most offensive things to do. Rickrolling is certainly, it has its place in internet history, doesn't it? And do you know what? It'll have made Rick Astley a cosmic fuck ton of money. It will have made Rick Astley a cosmic fuck ton of money. For sure. Okay, so we've seen the trailers for Happy Humble's Burger Farm. We've seen the trailers for Inmost. We've seen the trailer for oh my lordy, for Poppy's Playtime, and this is for jeez, I literally just looked at it. Those Who Remain, which again is like, it seems to remain. There's a lot of neon in this one, so which is the reason why I immediately think of fucking Cyberpunk and stuff like that. And for those people that will be watching the VOD on YouTube, because all of my VODs go on YouTube, this will be eventually coming to the channel. All of the games that we play on the channel eventually go over to the VODs channel itself. But the live IRL chatting streams that we do go out much sooner than the VODs, the game VODs tend to do. So this will be eventually. This is like a tidbit on this live to us. This live voting of what is going to get voted on today will eventually come to the VODs channel on YouTube. So keep your eyes peeled for those people that just watch my VODs, you beautiful beings. All right. Never give you up, and you're my all-star. My favorite things to troll people with. Didn't curse them. My dead mom's recipe cursed me. They're oatmeal raisins, so they're an argument they're cursed by nature. That is fair. I mean, raisins do be like that. Right, okay, so this is the trailer for Those Who Remain. Camel 101. Aww. Feels like Fallout.
Why does my heart...
I can't play this song. This is definitely a DMCA song. I'll put some royalty-free music over the top. Or I won't. Okay. Oh, Jesus.
So now you decide.
Forgive or condemn? Condemn.
Forgive or condemn a town shrouded in darkness. Conquered with darkness. You might get away with it because it's echoed. Travel between the worlds. Oh, good lord. Some weird psychedelic shit going on here. Become the judge of lost souls. Oh, lordy. Will you offer salvation? Or damnation?
It ended when you
Oh, hello. And this screenshot here makes me think of an old movie that was called fuck, what's it called? Is it Drive? Yeah, Drive. Never seen fuck, what's it called? Thanks, friend. Thanks. Yeah, this here. Makes me think of there's a movie called Drive with Ryan Gosling in it. Oh my god, give me a better fucking image than that. Like that. Drive, Ryan Gosling, which is brutal as fuck. Yeah, makes me think of the same thing. Same dude. Same dude. Same dude. You know? So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, will you become like the I don't know, fucking St. Peter at the gates, judging whether people go to fucking hell or get was it salvation or damnation? Interesting. Not what I was expecting. But like at all, but okay. Alrighty. See how it is. See how it is. And then we'll get the last one up. Okay. Let me just pause it and get everything back up and running. The last one. So we've seen Happy Humble's Burger Farm, where we play a fast food burger individual. And we've seen Inmost, where we play a knight that kills fairies. We've seen Poppy Playtime, the one where we get chased by our childhood dreams. We've seen Those Who Remain, which is Drive. And finally, we've got the last on there, which is the Alien Cube, which is about an alien cube. You know what I mean? Also has kind of Alan Wake vibes in that cover. Yeah, a little bit Alan Wakey. I can see that. Completely nutty. Christine? No, not Christine. Not quite. You know what I mean? How's it going, All-Star Gamer Girl? How you doing? Booby once told me. Some Booby once told me. Some. There's Eris telling me. Body. I call it all the time because my name is All-Star. Of course. Soul Voice, Live or Die, make your choice. Night of the Living Dead. No, it was definitely Drive. It was hard to remember that one word. That one word I required, you know. See you later, Depp fan. You take it easy, you beautiful being. Thanks very much for stopping by. I really, really appreciate it. Not seen it, but I see it. Drive is a fantastic movie, but it is very violent. It is very violent. I really, really enjoyed it as a movie, but it is really violent. It is really violent. And you should be aware of that. Unsettlingly violent is what I would call it. Because it's not like... Yeah, just unsettlingly violent is probably the best way of calling it. So this is the Alien Cube. This is the last one on the thingy. Get your votes in, friends. Exclamation mark vote. And that will bring the vote up. Multiple choice, so you can pick any of the ones. Anything that you would like to see me play from every Wednesday as of next week. Anything you would like to see me play. Thank you very much, Nibirin. I will play until we complete it. It should be 2 or 3 weeks worth of gamings, I would imagine. How's it going, Dr. K? How you doing? You're just in time for the vote, my dear. Just in time for the vote. And this is the last trailer, the Alien Cube. It's like Amnesia. Alessandro Guzzo presents, or Guzzo. Okay, Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim. It just looks similar. Jesus fucking Christ. An unexpected event while you're hiking in Skyrim. An asteroid. A chamber of goo. Ooh. There's a lot going on here. What?
Achieved with CryEngine.
I'm glad it achieved with CryEngine. I have so many questions. I have so many questions. It was like Skyrim with aliens. There was like a bit where it looked like Amnesia. There was a bit where, yeah, it looked a little bit like Fallout. I have CryEngine. Just lots of people crying into a void. I have so many questions. So many questions. First thought, Valen said unsettlingly violet. Unsettlingly violet. Unsettlingly violent, you know. Wonderful. Just got back from a climb. Oh, how exciting. Which climb did you go for? Was it a specific mountain or was it like a wall? Was it wall climbing or was it mountain climbing? Two very, very different things. You know what I mean? If it wins the vote, maybe you'll get answers. Maybe. Maybe, Mr. Trilby. Maybe. But the answer, it's all up to you, friends. It's all up to you. The vote is there. I'll give it a few minutes. We'll have a bit of a chat and stuff. Indoor bouldering. Love that. Love, 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 love that. We'll give it a few minutes for people to get their votes in. And then we will have a look at what we are going to be playing every Wednesday from next week. So reminder, friends, while I'm doing reminders and bits and pieces, next week I will not be streaming Monday or Tuesday because I am taking my partner away for their birthday. And we're going away to a nice sunny place in Europe in order to just get away for a bit. Because neither of us have been abroad on holiday for years. So, yeah, we're just going to get away for a bit. So there'll be no stream on Monday, no stream on Tuesday. But there will be streams on Wednesday, and we will literally be coming back to start whichever game is voted for today. For those people that are watching the VOD on the VOD channel, you can come and join us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/ValenVein. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday night and Thursday night, and Tuesday day and Wednesday day. Yeah, the game that is voted for today will be played every Wednesday in September 2023. Because I don't know when you're going to be watching this on the live on the YouTube, so you know what I mean. Renata, you take it easy, you beautiful being. Thanks very much for stopping by. Thanks very much for stopping by. Really need to try bouldering. Not sure there's anywhere near me I can get to. Also want to try indoor ice climbing. I fucking love bouldering. I love climbing. I'm a big fan of climbing. I haven't had the chance to do it in a long time, but I'm a big fan of climbing. Make sure it's not flooded or on fire. Takes away from the joy. True. Very true. Definitely. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. But yeah, so we have 5 games. Happy Humble's Burger Farm, where we play a fast food restaurateur who I don't even know how to explain that. We're in a fucking weird ass pseudo reality world. Inmost, which seems to be very beautiful, but from what we've heard, has got shitloads of content warnings. I know they definitely have content warnings around suicide and stuff, so a big heads up for that. Poppy Playtime, where we are a character with weird wooden hands or plastic hands, and we are in a realm of kids mascots, which is terrifying. Those Who Remain, which is the film Drive with elements of Alan Wake and mass judgment on the souls of those who remain, I'm assuming, as to whether we condemn them or save them. And then the Alien Cube, which had so much going on there. It looks like some kind of weird Cthulhian dynamics with elements of Amnesia and Tiptoeing Through the Daisies of Skyrim and other weird fucking aspects. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there, friends. And we'll give it another couple of minutes for you to get your votes in. It's multiple choice, so you can vote for any ones that you would like to see me do. Any games that you would like to see me... Ooh, cheeky. See me play, you're more than welcome to pick up there. All right. That's not what I wanted to do. That isn't what I wanted to do either. We are all good. Apparently people who do bouldering do really well compared to people who only do the ice climbing. There doesn't seem to be any cross between the styles. Oh, right, that's interesting. Didn't know that. How's it going, Angel Cake Lala? How you doing? Ice climbing looks so fancy. I just ended up having an accident with those implements. Though I bet, yeah, I would probably do so as well. I would probably do so as well. In fact, there are currently ads going on, friends. So I will let the ads roll out, and then we'll jump into this. All right. While I'm at it, friends, I will take a moment to... What is this? Excuse me. Oh, no, wait. Okay, we're good. We're all right. We're okay. I'll take a moment to, let you all know about the stuff that's coming up. We have a movie night, another movie night in September. I think it's the 24th of September. Let me double check. Oop. Yeah, 24th of September is the next movie night. We are going to be watching The Mummy Returns. We're going to be watching The Mummy Returns. It's in the Discord. All you have to do is pop in and say hello. You don't have to, like, speak anything. You don't have to have your camera on or anything like that. You just need to pop in and join in and stuff like that. How's it going, Genre? How you doing, you beautiful individual? How you doing? Genre, are you coming back to streaming, or are you still on the... are you still, like, petering out for a while you got work on and bits and pieces, you know what I mean? Divloy, how you doing, you beautiful individual? How you doing? We're doing a game vote at the moment, friends, for those people that might have just joined us. ! Vote. Yeah, we're doing a bit of a game vote. The games that we've got are Happy Humble's Burger Farm, where we are a fast food restaurateur in a pseudo-reality world, trying to work out what the fuck is going on. Inmost, where we seem to be some kind of knight that hates fairies, and there's all kinds of weird psychological horror on there. We have been told there are content warnings with that one, especially around suicide and stuff. It's a psychological horror. Poppy's Playtime, where we go to like a fun house, a kid's fun house, and we get hunted by the mascots of Sesame Street. Not literally, but it certainly seems that way. Those Who Remain, which is like an Alan Wake thing where we're in some kind of village and we need to judge the souls of those who have departed. And then the Alien Cube, which is like an Amnesia, Cthulhu, weird ass thing that's going on there. So yeah. Is the vote not working? Oh no, the vote is just on cooldown. Game suggestion, without the thing is, game suggestion. There you go, that's the thingy, there you go. If you'd like to recommend a game, it is there for you, friends. It is there for you to do the thing, do all the bits and pieces, do all the things and bits and pieces, you know. Is your birthday, Angel Kate Lala? Is your birth anniversary? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Angel Cake Lala. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Angel Cake Lala, you glorious bean. I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. Hope you're having a wonderful birthday. No such thing as feeling old, just feeling more experienced. Feeling like you've had an entire year's worth of life experiences, and now you are all the wiser and all the more prepared for the shit that life throws at us, alright? Alright? But yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day, you glorious bean. Trying to get to streams planned, but still on hiatus. Entirely fair. Entirely fair.
Kind.
Max Wattage gifting a cheeky little birthday sub to Angel Cake Lala. Angel Cake Lala, I shall now inscribe your name upon the mirror vein. Jenna Miss Joy, how you doing? By having your name upon the mirror vein, it means you get access to my personal Snapchat. Not a bum Snapchat, you cheeky devil. And of course, you get access to all the sexy little emotes. But the most important thing is you gotta roll over every morning, look in the mirror. Oh God, I look rough. But goddamn, do I make rough look good. Ooh, sexy. Ooh, yes, meow. You know? You're 42. You know the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. You know the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. That's obviously what happens when you turn 42. Obviously, do you know what I mean? Doing good. I'm glad to hear it, Dizloy. Divloy. Glad to hear it. Poppy Playtime is mad. It's up to you, friends. The vote is in there. The vote is all in there, friends. Look at it. It's all in there. It's all up to you. You know? And you're very, very welcome, people. And breathe. I'll breathe eventually. It's all good, All-Star Gamer Girl. I wanted to play something freaky deaky. So yeah, here we are. You know? Only for another 9 days, and then all knowledge will be lost. Well, you keep hold of it. Keep hold of that brain pan. Write as much down as you possibly can now while you remember it all. Alright? While you remember it all. But friends, we have come to the time where we will now find out what game we are going to be playing every Wednesday in September 2023. And the answer is Poppy Playtime with 26.67 votes. 26.67% of the votes, followed by those that remain with 20%, followed by the Alien Cube with 20%, followed by Inmost with 17.78%, and Happy Humble's Burger Farm with 15.56% of votes. Oh my lordy, this was surprisingly close. Friends. That is a very equal pie chart going on there. Very, very equal pie chart going on there. So we will start Poppy's Playtime in the first week back. So next week, the first Wednesday of September, I will be starting Poppy's Playtime, and we will we'll start on that. That will be our new one. Do you know what I mean? Poppy's Playtime has chapters, if I remember correctly. If the first one lasts us one stream, then we'll see what other chapters are available. Let me have a look at that right now. Yeah, so we've got Poppy's Playtime Chapter 1. And if it only lasts for like 1 week or like a week and a half, then we'll get Poppy's Playtime Chapter 2 and we'll just continue on like that. But again, I'll put it to the vote and let you decide whether... Because there's no point in me playing Chapter 2 if people didn't enjoy Chapter 1. Do you know what I mean? But I'm happy to play Chapter 2 if people are interested in it. More than happy to play it if people are interested in it, alright? Okie pokey, okie pokey. Okie pokey, okie pokey. All good. Do you know what I mean? The accursed cookies are done, but I'm not burning my mouth and hoping it doesn't. Good, because raisins, hot raisins will scald like nothing else. They will scald like you've never seen before, you know, you beautiful beans. But yeah, friends, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start playing that game as of next Wednesday. So that'll be my first stream back after me and McSteffels have been away on holiday. After me and our partner have been away on holiday. And we'll kick things off. We'll chat. We'll have a bit of a catch-up. I'll tell you some of the bits and pieces that we've done. And then we'll jump into Poppy's Playtime. Okay? So that is what you have voted for. That is what is happening. Massive thank you to all those people that voted. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Hot raisins are the food equivalent of hot glue. I feel that. I feel that on a deep level. On a deep and personal level. Do you know what I mean? Ooh, friends. Ooh. Friends! That's actually where I'm going to leave it today. That's where I'm going to leave it today. Because I am fucking knackered. I've been streaming for nearly 3 hours. This was meant to be a short stream. And I've been streaming for nearly 3 hours. Because I have been working all day. I was on my feet from what? From fucking 7 a.m. to, like, 20 to 6 this evening. So I am fucking knackered with that scenario. And we've done the thing. We did what we needed to do, which was all of the bits and pieces around the game vote and stuff like that. So massive thank you to all the people that voted. I really appreciate it. And before we go anywhere, friends, because we're going to go raid somebody, because we always go and raid somebody. We always like to go and throw some love at another delightful individual. Before we go raid somebody, though, could you do me a massive favor and throw out some mod loves in the channel? Say a massive thank you to those wonderful moderators. You can use any kind of mod loves from any kind of channel. You can use any kind of love hearts from any kind of channel. Moderators, thank you so much for all that you do. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for spending your time and your love with us, you glorious beans. Get me all of those mod loves, friends. Thanks for the streams. You can use any kind of mod loves. All of the mod loves for those wonderful moderators. Thanks for the stream, darling. Have an amazing vacation with McSteffels. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm still streaming tomorrow. And next week, so I'll be streaming Poppy's Playtime on Wednesday. And there is a chance, friends, that McSteffels might join us on stream next Thursday. So a week tomorrow. Because McSteffels will be staying with me that entire week. So there's a chance that McSteffels might join us on stream for next Thursday's stream. In case you people want to ask her any questions. Or we can have a bit of a chat and a natter and you can get to know her. You know what I mean? If you would like that. If you don't want to meet her, then fair enough. Fuck you. You know? Right, let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's go raid this person. We've been chatting away today. Let's go and raid this. Oh no. Okay, let's go raid this person instead. Okay, friends, if you are a subscriber, please copy and paste the first raid message. If you are not a subscriber, please copy and paste the second raid message. That's the first bot of vanity raid message for subscribers. The second bot of vanity raid message for non-subscribers. If you can stick around for the raid, even if it's on like 5-10 minutes, I would really appreciate it to go throw some love at another delightful bean. Let's go raid this person. Where the fuck have they gone? Why have I... Oh, I clicked away. We're going to go raid another glorious individual. I think there might be just finishing stream, so let's not do that. Ooh! Let's raid this person. Yeah, let's go raid this person. Friends, let's go and raid Orcish. Let's go raid Orcish. Orcish is a glorious bean. Wonderful, wonderful individual. If you can stick around for the raid, even though it's on like 5-10 minutes, I would really appreciate it. Just go spread some love over to Orcish. Orcish is doing their first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. Their first ever playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. So let's go find out how they're feeling about it, what they're enjoying about it. One of the classic games of all game history, Final Fantasy VII. Let's go see how they're doing with it. All right, friends, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for the raids, the hosts, the subs, the gift subs, all the cheeky little bitties. Thanks so much for spending your time here. Thanks so much for all these follows as well. We had a lot of follows coming in out there. I really appreciate it, you beautiful individuals. All of your support is massively appreciated, both monetarily, especially in times at the moment where things are a bit tighter in the pocket, and of course, like literally in being here and spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. Okay, I really appreciate it. Friends, I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. BST. That's 7 p.m. British time. Last stream before I go away on holiday. We'll be chatting some shit, talking about all kinds of bits and pieces, talking about what's going to be coming up in September, and some other interesting bits, which I'm hoping to share with you as well. But we'll see if I get confirmation back from people first. And yeah, it's good. It's all right. So I'll see you all later. See you coming at the end. That's the way I like it. Cheeky devil, Divloy. Cheeky devil. All right, friends, I'll see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. BST. Friends, until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do, because if I wouldn't do it, I'll fucking kill you. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye-bye.
Blue, but Junon has an underwater reactor. As far as I can see, that's the only one left.